Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johnny Bottles, and welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. The man to my left is the infamous neckbeard psychologist from Twitter, the Twitterverse, the X Sphere, whatever you want to call it, Don Wayne, Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. And down below, this guy right down here, some of you may have seen this gentleman before, the great Phil Marks from the YouTube channel, Pro Wrestle Times and Pro Wrestle Clips. We'll have the links in the description of the show after the show for Phil's YouTube channels. And he was very diligent in getting them on to me. I just realized in a private chat that he sent me the links. But go. Phil, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing, dude. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there, buddy. Don, how are you doing?
All the neckbeards can lick my ass right now. All of them. The NXT AEW battle that's been happening this year, ratings didn't matter for 5.5 months. And suddenly the goobers come out of their basement, and it's the most important thing since the Constitution got signed. It's go time now. You want to tell me it doesn't matter? You had a decent house, and now you're all running around oiled up with Lubriderm, sliding around in your basements on your tarps, having a wonderful killjoy time. Go to hell, all of you. I'm doing good other than that.
He tells me we're going to start off with Jim Ross. He's a big story about Jim Ross.
We are. I had to get that off my chest.
Right away, you're urinating on the AEW fans in the IWC. The Cheetos section.
It's just the sickos or the neckbeards, whichever one you want to call them. I've had my fill of these people today. I've had enough. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We are so glad to have Phil here, but yes. I did want to mention that the great Jim Ross, one of the greatest announcers of all time. He was one of the voices of my adolescence and into my young adulthood. And he came out today on Twitter and announced that he has got colon cancer. So I want to wish him a speedy recovery. God bless. He has had many battles over the past several years. I wish him well. I really do. I wish him the best.
Bell's palsy, 3 times?
Yeah, severe.
Both sides of his face, severe nerve damage, permanent nerve damage. He had cancer, skin cancer on his foot.
Yep.
Recently
on his ankle or something like that.
Yeah. And did he have a heart problem too, or is that a different announcer?
No, I don't think he had a heart problem. He had sleep apnea real bad, where he was having problems with that. Took forever to get solved. Yeah, and he had diverticulitis 10 15 years ago now. So my man's been through the ringer. He lost his wife in that tragic accident. He's had some, as of the last 15 years, that guy's really gone through the ringer, man. My heart goes out to him. I wish Jim Ross a speedy recovery.
And it was admitted that he was banging Missy Hyatt. He has my deep sympathy. I'm sorry, Jim.
Did you guys hear what Jim Ross said on Inside the Ropes? They just dropped.
I'm so glad you brought this up. Please continue.
Phil posted it.
So I just posted a quick rundown from just an 8-minute clip. Oddly enough, it has 4,000 likes on this thing.
Oh, wait, dude, it's a big story, man.
So Jim Ross on Inside the Ropes, here were my jot notes here. He's not shocked Cody Rhodes left AEW because Cody could actually realize his potential in WWE. And that's his words. Hold
on. Let's dissect that for a minute.
Yeah.
He works at AEW, correct? He's still employed there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a shot. That's a shot at Tony Khan. And I don't give a shit if it's a subtle dig or if you just say it as him speaking his mind. That's a shot at the creative direction on AEW. And I'm sort of thinking maybe Jim Ross has had about his cup of fill at what's going on behind the scenes at AEW. Maybe. That's just my
So he says that he's in AEW to get his money. Now
that was the other part.
Right. So and that is his exact words. He's like, I'm getting my money. And the crowd reacts to it. And he was like, I love AEW, I love what they're doing, and I love everything about them, and they've paid me really well, and I'm getting my money. That was the extent of what he said about how good AEW is, right? And then he said Jack Perry was scared shitless of CM Punk,
which is the other part that I can't wait to talk about. So
yeah, which he also said, just so you know too, like these aren't verbatim quotes. He didn't go, and man, Jack Perry.
I know.
But what he said was, well, no, he used the word scared shitless of CM Punk, but he goes, I bet that Jack Perry was just scared shitless of CM Punk, wasn't he? And then he makes the guy interviewing him answer, and the guy interviewing him's like, Yeah, I bet he was. And Ross is like, yeah, I bet he was scared. So he does. I mean, it's what he said. And then he said Punk should have waited until after the event to scrap with Perry because it did no favors.
That's the other
for
part that
anybody.
got my attention.
He's like, wait
that's the
till
part
after
that made
the
me
show.
laugh.
What are you can't wait till after the show to be a tough guy? Like he was kind of roasting Punk there too. He was being critical of him, but at the same time, he wasn't like, don't smack him. He's like, but Punk did egg it on a bit by standing there. He's like, but just wait to do that after the show, is what Jim basically had to say about it.
Well, Jim Ross is one guy to talk about not egging somebody on with some of the shit he's pulled with Vince McMahon and the WWE, through the years. He's done his fair share of egging on and not being a really easy guy to work with sometimes. I like Jim Ross, don't get me wrong, but he's even openly admitted I was not sometimes the easiest guy to work with either. So it goes both ways. It's a physical business. When you get heated, it's a lot of money. Shit spills over sometimes. And what are you going to do? I'm going to put hands on you if you're out here talking shit about me. That's what it is. I mean, oh well, shit happens. Time moves on, which by the way, we're fast forwarding now a year later, almost 2 years later. One of those stars from that incident is still on the biggest wrestling show in the world. The other guy's been missing for 6-7 months. So that should tell you all you need to know how that ended up working out for both guys.
But why is Jack Perry missing? That's what I'm curious about. Is he in the same camp as Kamille, Wardlow, Britt Baker, Mariah May?
Well, he did have legit heat on him. Like, it's not like Tony Khan was pleased with him and all of that either, but he did choose to go with Jack Perry because Jack Perry's friends are going to protect him, at the end of the day. I've been told by Jack Perry's friends, I'll just put it this way, that they even think Jack Perry fucked up in that situation, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody sort of agrees. He just everything CM Punk said happened in the video on Ariel Helwani show happened in the video. And so that made Perry look dumb for, and these are people who are friends with him. So it's not like they're all just blind and everybody backstage is like, oh, fuck CM Punk. It's not like I can swear on this shit, right? We already we're already going.
We're good, man.
Where does Jack Perry go from here? Can he rehab
Probably
his career in AEW?
No.
Probably. Well, he is home.
He's the size of a toothpick. He doesn't draw a dime. Nothing about that guy's gimmick is intriguing to me. He was Jungle Jack for the longest time. Jack off. I don't care for the guy. I don't care if he stays, leaves. I don't want to see him on my TV. He's got it's not even go away heat. It's just, I'm not even bemused by the guy. I just want him to just go away, man. That's all I want. That's all. Thank you for the super chat. Juan Alacron says Jack Perry is still in detention. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
If it was me, I'd book Jack Perry like a 90210 character who's like slapping Anna Jay on the ass, like, hey, babe, go get my belt and stuff like that. And just really pissing people off, like his girlfriend's ungodly hot and he's rich, born with money. Lean into that and get him real heat. Don't try and be this, I'm the severed head goat, scapegoat man, and a short bus man. That's so cringe. That's not you. Lean into the fact that you're like this California douchebag with a hot girlfriend that nobody else could get. And you're like slapping her on the ass and being like, go get my belt, babe. And like, acting like your dad in 90210 or whatever show he was on, that's what you do with Jack Perry.
And the super chat is open. If you got something to say, pop it on in there. We'll throw your chat comment up. Thank you again, Juan. Since we're talking about CM Punk, it's kind of a moment to talk about it. The Saudi Arabia show is coming up. He was advertised on the poster. He was advertised on the video, and suddenly CM Punk has been taken off of the video package bottles. He has had some not so nice things to say about Saudi Arabia, and that's fine. You're entitled to your own opinion. It does not bother me in the least, but I can understand why they'd be like, don't bring that guy here.
He said, somebody asked me a question about that recently. He said, why? I don't hate Saudi Arabia. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. And that was the tweet.
Then the receipts started coming out about some of the comments he made. And I'm not going to repeat them on here because I'm not getting flagged for that shit, but it was not nice.
He dropped a few comments to Miz.
Yes, that as well. So I'll be curious.
4 years ago? 5 years ago?
It was a while ago.
Yes,
it was a while ago.
Yes, it was. And he was on his high horse about that. But now he's, I don't know. I think if they flashed the money in his face and say, "Hey Phil, here's an extra bonus. It's coming from the Saudis. Go to the show."
He'll
Is that 6 zeros? I'll be there.
I will be there, and we'll sell some T-shirts.
Money talks, man, and even Sami Zayn went, and also Punk has a good relationship with Dana White and these guys, like outside. Before there was ever a TKO merger, he was friends with all the Endeavor and Dana White and all these guys, and their relationship with the Saudis has only grown closer and closer and bigger. So I don't know. I do see Punk I do see him going there eventually, but if he says he doesn't want to, he doesn't need to. But I could see just TKO in general putting the hammer down and being like, Punk, come on, we convinced Sammy to go, and he's so happy about it, and da. So money talks, man.
I don't think this is a Punk issue of not wanting to go. I think the Saudis uninvited him is really how I feel this way.
Here's the thing. Well, maybe.
I really feel like that's what happened. Look, man, if you talk shit about that country and the government and the princes, I'm telling you, look, man, you are uninvited officially.
Yeah, or maybe WWE's like, it's better you don't go because you talked shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might be people looking out for him too, because I don't know. I just know the Saudis are down to do business, and if you draw money and draw eyeballs, I know that they're down with it, but I don't know. Anyways, you got a super chat on the screen.
Brother Fluff Salisbury for a 5 spot. Make Jack the storyline son of William the Refrigerator Perry. Kind of like Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle. Well, they'd have to get a shovel to dig up William Perry for this angle.
But we know who his dad is.
Exactly. We'll know who his dad is.
That's like Big Show being Andre's kid.
The refrigerator's in the refrigerator right now.
Yeah. I'm the illegitimate son of a bastard of a football player. That's what I am.
Correction, he's in a refrigerator box right now. But anyone? No.
Former WrestleMania talent, by the way.
Yes.
William Refrigerator Perry. He was in that
battle. Was he eliminated by Big John Studd? Eliminated
I think
him?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Put his ass right over the top rope.
Well,
that doesn't work for me, brother.
Squared Circle Maniacs, can I ask you guys, do you guys have memberships on this channel?
Not yet.
Okay, no, well, they're going to get on that, and you guys can also eventually gift memberships and become members of this channel, hopefully soon when these guys get that set up. But in the meantime, super chat on in.
We'll have to check that out. I did not know that was an option. We'll take a look at that. But
that is an option, but I just never enacted it right now. So
there's something else I want to talk about that's been on my mind. We talked about it Sunday, and he's just not stopping. Ocean Spray will not shut up about the WWE. He will not do it. He could take the high road and say, I've talked about this in the past. I don't really want to go over this again. I want to talk about my future in AEW. I want to talk about all the great things we're doing in AEW, and I want to promote my product. Instead, he is continuing to bash them every shot he gets. And I don't understand where, other than making himself look like an idiot on Twitter for about, a day and a half, where is the upshot of running your mouth about the biggest wrestling company on the planet and talking negatively about them? Because who knows, you may want to go there when your contract's up. Thank you again, Brother Fluff.
Yeah. So the thing with Ospreay, and that nobody's telling him, is that, if he really believed we're better, bruv, we're better, and all this stuff, we're really better, we clear them. No, you would have went and you would have proven that in WWE. It's just that simple. Same with Kenny Omega saying like, the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Logan Paul and Mr. Beast. And it's like, then go be a difference maker. You've made all the money. You've done every video game crossover. Shut the fuck up. Stop being scared and go and ask that girl to dance, bro. Prove it to everybody. Same with bruv. We do everything better. They're better at getting the crowd on their feet, bruv. Oh, no way, because it's an entertainment show. And the promotion, you're a wrestling promotion, and the promotion that promotes the best, you're coping and saying you do everything better. Weird, because the objective of pro wrestling, ultimately at the end of the day, is to entertain, get people on their feet, and promote the best in your promotion. And that's not what's going on.
There's one part of that you missed. To make $1.
Certainly.
There's one thing that always stuck me when I heard about it. I can't remember which wrestler it was, but he said something. He said, if there's one thing I want to do in this business is make $1 and make some sense. And I was like, that's it.
Right, dude.
Right.
But the thing with Ospreay and the thing with some of these AEW guys is it doesn't register because they're fucking making money. Those guys are making a bunch of upfront money. And so they want to diminish what WWE's doing or what other people are doing, essentially. All wrestling's modeled off fucking WWE. Kenny wouldn't be worried about WrestleMania if he didn't care about Mania. And here's the problem that I need to point out that nobody's telling Ospreay. None of his None of his friends are telling him, yeah, Scully Vibes, what's up, dude? What's the vibe? Salute
Thank you, brother.
T and SCM. Scully Vibes is. That's my guy,
What's the
man.
vibe? There he is.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
we've got some crossover viewers, man. He's been here
That's
quite a
good.
few times. He's one of our regular guys. Love Scully.
Well,
But I'm glad you brought this up because
well,
am I mistaken, or the two guys running their mouths, one of them can't cut a promo, and the other guy wrestled blow up dolls, a 12-year-old girl, and in a G-string and stuck his fingers up another man's ass. Oh, by the way, they're also putting on matches with the Costco guy. The entire Logan Paul doesn't belong here moment is over. He's been doing this now for years, not a couple of months, not a couple of matches. He's been here for years. Oh, and by the way, this is hard for Logan, for guys like Kitty and Ocean Spray to deal with. He's good. He's really good. Matter of fact, he's better at you than getting heat and actually performing in the ring because he knows it's a job and it's entertainment. He's not out there doing stupid shit.
And that's what they're coping over. And I need to point this out because nobody is telling this to Ospreay behind the scenes. He has no real friends, or I don't know how to word this, right? Nobody's being honest with him and telling him, guy, all these fucking AEW sicko podcasts you go on, or wherever you're giving these interviews to that get 700 views after like a day, and you're doing it, why? Because they just wash and tongue AEW's balls, and you won't dare go on a show where someone might actually challenge some of the bullshit you say, Will. Here's the problem is those people don't care about you. And I hope Will's listening to this. Not saying he is, but maybe someone can clip it and send it to him, but they don't fucking care about you. They're using you to go, so what about WWE? Because they know you're going to say some coat bullshit. Now they're just using you, and no one's like a fucking monkey with two crash cymbals winding you up, and no one's got the balls to tell you this, but yet I'm an E-Fed sucker, or whatever. I'm an E-drone. I don't love AEW. I hate real wrestling. I hate Ospreay because I'm critical, but really I like you enough to where I'm telling you the truth, the uncomfortable truth that none of your friends or peers have the fucking balls to tell these people, and that's Ospreay. These Mark Simps are fucking using you. Sorry, I'm going off, but they're using you for WWE clicks now on their shit, and you're feeding into it because all they gotta get is talking about WWE. And instead of talking about your fucking match at Double or Nothing against Hangman, what is everybody talking about? What you have to say? They're talking about
what he mentioned,
company.
WWE. Yes,
they're talking about,
and that's
WWE
the problem.
more, and you're feeding into it because you suck. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Nobody taught you correctly, and you don't have real friends surrounding you. You're all just people going, yes, yes, for money. Okay? And that's what sellout is. That's not – I don't give a fuck what people have to say. The people go, oh, the real wrestling. Okay? You would think in
real
WWE
graps. They say real graps.
Well, real graps, and they go, oh, it's the sport. We love the sport of pro wrestling. Okay, then why don't you go to WWE where you do your sport at the highest level on the biggest platform more times? You love the sport so much. I love wrestling, bruv. Then go wrestle more in WWE. You work once a week, every month. You know what I'm saying? In WWE, you got to work a little more than that. The schedules are obviously lower. But
not ready for the grind.
It's the fucking grind. But they all want to play this game. Well, I love the sport of wrestling. Then go do your sport at the highest level. Connor McDavid doesn't go, I love the sport of hockey. Let me go to the fucking Swedish league and play with. No, dude. He's in the NHL. And that's just it. And it's sorry, go ahead. I'm going off here. I'm losing my shit.
We've talked about this before.
Phil's getting hot.
I am.
We talked about this before, but and Scully brought it up because this is not a real business. This is not a real business.
It's not.
Go ahead.
Like Phil said it was upfront money. They're getting paid upfront money, so they're all comfortable. Yeah. And I immediately thought if they had to get paid off the houses, when they do live shows, right, they wouldn't make any money at all.
Thank you, Scully.
If they were paid off the houses, they'd be humbled. as Scully said. Thanks for
As
the
Scully
two-spot
said,
there,
yeah, I
Scully.
mean, that's an amazing comment too, Scully. If they got
Yeah.
paid off the houses, they'd be humbled, and that's just it in WWE. There's more money in the long term, and when you overfill that bucket, as Mansoor and Mason Mansoor explained on Maven Huffman's show there, you can do enough dates and you can overfill your bucket, and you get bigger paydays when the houses are bigger and shit like that, and you have more money you can make off merch. But in AEW, you get a bunch of money up front, and then where does that leave you? That money will not last forever. In 8 years' time, that money's going to be depleted, and it's not going to mean as much as it did as you looking back in your prime and going, fuck, bruv, I should have been in WrestleMania.
Well, that's the other part.
Like, I wonder if they make money off the merch in AEW.
I have no idea, but
I
they're
don't
not
think
Pro
so.
selling
Wrestle
enough
Tees
merch.
deal is shit.
They're not
Pro
selling
Tees
enough
deal is
money for it to matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody's buying it. It's poorly constructed. It's poorly run. And here's the other thing. I just
But
want
you
to
never
merch
see
is
them
a
wear the
disaster.
shirts. You never see them wear the
Thank you, Warrior.
t-shirts.
Their merch
Thank
is a
you, Warrior,
fucking
for pointing that
disaster.
out.
I know that for sure. Their Pro Wrestle Tees thing, it's a mess. They have no one's making money off merch through AEW.
There's no continuity. I get that. That's what I keep reading. Warrior JWR says, I saw AEW is going to ECW Arena soon. That ought to be very interesting. And here's another aspect that they keep relying on is they're trying to play on the nostalgia factor with all of these wrestling fans that have been lost since like 99, like I was for a long time, where just there
What
was
else did
nothing
they
out
do?
there. But it's over, man. Like, you're going to an old arena that was a shithole to begin with, and the only reason it was special was because of the people in the arena. The arena itself is a hellhole. No one cares. That's why the WWE, when they went there, they was like, we're here for one night. It's a shithole, by the way. And we're bringing back the old ECW guys because this is a nostalgia feeling. It actually doesn't have anything to do with the actual improved product. I get
If
it, but there's nothing there.
If they go into the ECW arena, who are they bringing back from ECW?
Tommy Dreamer.
You know he's going to. Tommy Dreamer works for TNA.
They still might bring him in, man.
It'll be Rhino again. Didn't they just
Rhino,
do
yes.
that?
Rhino just jobbed.
But didn't they just do the 2300 building? Like, didn't they already do that? They just did it, didn't they?
WWE did it last year. I want to say they did it a couple of years ago. I
think
remember when they did it.
AEW. Well, weren't they just in Philly? Isn't that why Rhino showed up in AEW recently? I think they were just there.
I feel like they've done it there.
Yes,
but
he
I'm
went
almost
for a
positive
collision,
that I know WWE did it. That's when they had that one night stand or whatever it was in NXT, that weird show.
So I'm pretty sure they just brought back Rhino. I'm pretty sure they just did it and they brought back Rhino. Also, like, NWA is doing the 2300 building. Like, everybody does it now. So again, it is interesting, but it's just like GCW outdrawing AEW in the same building. Like, GCW can draw more tickets. It's not like AEW's hot there in Philly, really. You know what I mean? Like, their fans are going to turn out, good for them, and it's a smaller venue. I always encourage AEW to do residencies in smaller venues. I'll give them points when they start announcing that they're doing stuff like that, like they have been recently with Chicago coming up.
Have you we're talking about the ECW arena. We're talking about GCW. Do we want to talk about Sabu right now?
Well, we talked about it a little bit on Sunday. So I don't know I said my piece on Sunday, Phil. If you've got anything or you didn't talk about it, here's your chance. If you have, we don't have to rehash it because I am going to talk about it some when we talk about AEW.
Listen,
Taz.
I absolutely loved Sabu. I'm not going to get deep into it. I already talked about it as well last night on youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips on PWT live show. Wednesday night, I talked about it as well a little bit, and it was in a bunch of segments. We got Taz's reaction, but I will just say this. One's up in the chat for Sabu. Fingers pointed up in the chat for Sabu. One of the best, man. Really one of the best.
Warrior, it would be very poetic if you paid for your ticket to that arena with a bounce check. Oh, my God.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
Oh, man. When I was in the service, man, my roommate at the time wrote a check at the Apex store or whatever it was called. Tom, I can't remember. And as we're getting in the car, he wrote a check for a 12-pack of beer. We got in, and he looked at me and he said, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "What?" He said, "You didn't hear that check bouncing like a son of a bitch when he put it in the register?" I said, "Oh my God." I said, "You just bounced a check for $10?" He said, "I'm not fucking around this weekend. I'm getting a couple of beers." So shout out to Joe. That was wild. We do need to talk about Raw. There were some moments that I really enjoyed. There were some moments that I just could have done without, but that's just what it is now in Raw, right? It's a cup of this, a cup of that. But for the first time in forever, CM Punk cut a promo. And I don't know how you feel, Bottles, but Punk on the microphone is still one of the most engaging, charismatic, amazing things to watch that you can possibly have on a television show. By the way, I enjoy watching him wrestle too, but he talks you into the building. He talks you into viewership. He talks you into caring about what he's going through. Personal issues draw money, and he makes it personal. As he's gotten older, it seems like he's gotten even better about trying to make this seem like a real life, personal, I don't like you moment. I thought he was at his best this weekend. I'm sorry. When he called out Paul Heyman and started calling him all kinds of names. I can't remember what they were. Penguin, yes, was one of them. Yes. It was tremendous. I doffed my cap, sir, in your general direction. Again, CM Punk on the microphone made me glued me to my seat. What did you think, Bottles?
I thought it was great. I thought it was very entertaining. Just when Heyman is on the screen, I'm thoroughly entertained. No matter what he does, with just a facial reaction, or if he actually makes a speech, it's just top notch. He's the guy who crafted the bloodline angle and storyline and got it over with everybody. They didn't even need Roman Reigns. They had Heyman to move that story along. It was fantastic. And now they've got him hooked up with Breaker and Rollins going up against Punk and Sami Zayn. Great stuff. Great stuff. What's the name of that movie that Punk filmed recently? He's a vampire in this movie that's coming out, a horror movie. Have you heard about that?
I don't have that
TV. He's on a TV series on Sci-Fi.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a full-blown series where he's like a regular on it. So, and they're really lobbying with Netflix to get heels going again. Yeah, yes. And this is actually stuff that Punk had grandfathered into his contract, like a few film projects. So
that's good.
There's some coming up down the wing. Yeah. Have you guys seen his horror movie where he's like the star of it and he's working on that starter home that he's moving in? He's in a horror movie where he's the star of the whole thing, front to back, and it's mostly just him. The movie's just filmed like in a house, and it's just him like the entire time. And he's like working on this house for him and his wife to move into. And it's actually really good. I'm not saying he's like Johnny Depp in there or Marlon Brando or whatever, right? He's not like
he's no Lawrence
Leonardo DiCaprio, but he carries the film himself and he does a damn good job. And as sort of this blue collar guy, and I look forward. And in if you've seen him in Heels, he's great in that as well.
I was gonna say no. I've seen him in Heels. Him taking on a redneck character blew my mind with his southern drawl. I was like, when the hell did the Chicago boy learn to actually put over something like that? So yes, I was thoroughly entertained with this. I like what he does. I don't agree with everything.
Girl on the Third Floor, is the name of the movie. Girl on the Third Floor is the name of the movie. Thank you for that, Challenger John in chat. I implore you guys to check it out. It's actually pretty cool.
By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you showing up. Subscribe to Phil Mark's channel as well, Pro Wrestling Times. You can check him out over there. You think Billy Jack Haynes was...
Billy Jack Haynes could be anything.
By the way, he was declared mentally incompetent to stand trial.
Yes. Vern Gagne, Eric Bischoff, who else booked? Jim Cornette. I'm not going to take this shit. I never met Billy Jack Haynes. Soda water. Well, I think Time Cop met him. That's my favorite. Well, if I went to the past and then I met him now, but then it was back then, it's like Time Cop.
Thank you, Warrior JWR. We appreciate it very much.
Got to get one of those baby AI TikToks.
You know it's coming. It's
Tony
coming.
Khan as the baby with Phil doing the voice.
Well,
got to have that done.
Again, I really like this opening segment. It drew you in. The entire Paul Heyman crew. You get into a little scuffle. Everybody gets into it. Have some run-ins. Jey Uso comes out. This was good. Here's what I want to talk about next. Penta and Chad Gable. Yes. I don't understand what's going on with Chad Gable. Why is this guy losing all the time? I get that he's winning with his other, outfit.
Yes.
But I really like Chad Gable, and I don't feel like he's getting a fair shake in what he's doing. However, Penta, I'm sorry. I'm over with this guy now. What the hell were they doing with him in AEW, man? It's like I'm watching a different dude. The way he walks to the ring, the way he interacts with the fans. This guy's over as hell. I'm loving everything about him. And he did an interview today. I can't remember the guy's name. He's one of the bigger interview guys ever. And it was hilarious because, you know, with everything that Rey Mysterio did, is it not incredible that his greatest accomplishment was having his son Dominic? And Penta went nuts in the interview. He was like, "You bring me into this interview for this shit?" He was like, I'm kidding. It's just, I love Penta right now, man. He's with me. Bottles, I know you've got to like this guy.
I'm just telling you, he's learned in WWE less is more. He was doing everything he could. I'm going to throw all my shit out there in the ring with Ospreay and all these other clowns and Mortos and all this whole crew and get myself over as best as I can. Me and my brother, which he did. He did.
Yeah.
But it was just too much. Too much with the hand signals and the 15 Canadian destroyers wrestling Orange Cassidy. Remember that match?
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. A Canadian destroyer, now a Mexican destroyer, has been a finisher now. And
Yes.
it should be, and it should have always been, and it was before AEW decided to start bastardizing all these moves to where everybody's got to get their shit in. And when we talk about this, I'm going to point out what I mean by that.
Well, here's an example. Here's an example of a finishing move that has fallen by the wayside. It's a damn shame. From the 80s, the great Jake the Snake Roberts.
I knew you were going to say this.
The DDT.
The DDT.
One of Top Flight, when Dynamite last night, gave Shelton Benjamin a DDT in the middle of the ring, and Shelton Benjamin popped right back up again, like someone threw an egg at him, and he just jumped right up and went into the next transitional move. What is going on in wrestling nowadays? Let's pull a straight razor out, slash the guy's throat, shoot the guy.
That's what you have to do. That's the new
what you got to do
finisher.
now to beat some of these guys. It's unbelievable.
I believe that's called the Straight Edge Society.
Yes.
Yeah, they've shown us that in AEW a few times, like the finale, the last episode. Like, where do you go from a boot wrapped in barbed wire that explodes when you kick them in the head? I mean, that's the last episode right there. I mean, there's nowhere to even go from there. When you do a hypodermic needle, I mean, where do you go? When Moxley gets impaled like an ogre in Lord of the Rings with a fucking spike bat in his back, like, where do you go? That's the last episode of wrestling, guys. You know what I mean?
What
like,
Phil,
And
show was it?
scene.
yeah,
what show
next
was
it's like someone dies. Is that
What show was it when he hung Darby Allin upside down? And the Young Bucks had.
I don't even recall, but I remember like what that was, but I don't remember what show it was. But I do recall that where they hung him upside down, and Martha Hart was in the crowd or was there at the bit, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" They
super kicked him. They super kicked him. The Young Bucks did with their new shoes with thumbtacks glued to the shoes.
Yes, because fuck you. I did want to talk about this. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Phil. What'd you go say?
I was just gonna say, when it comes to Penta, though, man, he was phoning it in AEW, and you know, the way it's been explained to me is that in AEW, and this is like pretty well, I can pretty much guarantee that what I'm saying here, it's from the horse's mouth. As far as someone who's been back there and knows what's up, I'll just leave it at that. It's like you're just trying to impress Tony. So when Penta's being shelved because the CMLL deal goes down and Penta and Rey aren't allowed to be used when those guys are on the show, etc. So then when he is allowed on the show, when he would get the phone call, he'd come in and do 5 destroyers with Cassidy because he's like, okay, this is Tony's little pet. And if I can do this and it gets me booked more on TV, amazing. You guys know what I'm saying? Like he was the guy who was
that way.
Yeah, wrestling. He was wrestling that dumb style, and people were saying, even me, I was like, dude, there's a bit of a spring not there in Penta's step anymore. I was saying that, and I was worried about him coming to WWE, and I was like, dude, I really hope the Lucha Brothers come in as a tag because, you know, Penta sort of lost that. There's like a step missing in his game. The few little bit you see him in AEW, boom,
Not anymore.
That's completely
Not
gone.
anymore.
And you just realize, oh, he was just phoning it in and he was just doing dumb shit trying to get booked more because that's what you have to do in AEW. You have to try and impress the boss man. Impress me. No, I gave you 5 more minutes. In fact, I gave you 5 and 30. It's great.
Maddie, thank you for the $1.99. Penta Mascaras be like,
that
no
voice
ya.
pops me every time.
No ya.
Tony Khan. The great Tony Khan.
That's literally what he does backstage. There's a video I made on my YouTube channel, 10 Minutes of Tony Khan, and I didn't doctor it to make him look stupid. This is just what they put in their reality show of Tony, and he's literally backstage yelling in the headset, "Oh, no, in 5, give him the 30. No, yeah, it's great. Oh, I love that." Like, he's like yelling in the mic to whoever's on commentary,
Tony Khan.
Excalibur and them, and it's like, bro, imagine you're Kevin Kelly. And you're working there, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
We're gonna have plenty of time to talk about AEW. I'm gonna finish up Raw real quick,
folks. Hang on a second, folks. If this is your first time listening to Phil Marks, check him out on Pro Wrestle Times on Twitter, Pro Wrestle Times, and Pro Wrestling Clips on the YouTube. We'll have links to Phil's channels in the description after the show's over, so you can go back and take a look and track Phil down on YouTube. It's a great show he does live for every NXT, Raw, Dynamite. I know he's live for that. He's live for the pay-per-views. I was on one of them, so he does a watch-along. And you'll learn more about news and wrestling than you ever have in your entire life by watching Phil Marks. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
You'll have the flutes. I'm not going to tell you about the flutes. You'll have the flutes. You'll have Tony Khan's
but the flutes are over, bro. I mean, the flutes are a draw. It's with the max numbers, 5 million, Brian.
And Dave Meltzer. The Dave Meltzer cameo.
No, I'm not talking about Dave Meltzer right now. That guy's already pissed me off today. I've already put out a tweet about that idiot. I want to talk about something on Raw that really impressed me.
Let's go. More Raw.
Jey Uso, I have not been on the Yeet train. Bottles has not been on the Yeet train.
I am not going on the Yeet train.
Okay, then don't. I'll punch my ticket. Because
Chat, can I get a yeet?
This promo he cut on Gunther was the best thing I've seen him do ever. Maybe ever. He's had some really good promos. I'm hoping his match is going to get better. You and I agree, Bottles. I don't know how Phil thinks about it, but his matches don't always impress me. This promo was great. He ended it with, "I'm going to handle the YouTuber. Then me and the ring general are going to run it back." I loved everything about this. You didn't. That's fine. Phil, did you like it?
Yeah, I like what they're doing. I mean, okay, it's not ideal that they want to yeet after every sentence he says. I think he should just.
Well, that's like the what thing, right? It's just annoying as shit, and that's the fans. That's on them more than anybody else. I can't stand the what, and I can't stand the yeet after every goddamn sentence. Get over yourself, crowd. Let the guy do his thing, and then we can go somewhere else with this. But yes, I agree. It's annoying.
See, I have a different opinion on that. I like or not even that I like it, but I just don't care about the and the yeet and the what. I feel like if the crowd is going to do that, they're going to do that. And it's on the wrestler to go, "Well, I'm not going to talk like this, and give them a chance, to say yeet after every yeet, goddamn yeet thing, yeet. I say yeet." You have to take it upon yourself to fuck up with fuck around.
You got to end it. You have to end it.
You got to play with the cadence and talk over their yeeting and make it so they're forced to listen to what you're saying. So they don't do that. They don't do that to Punk. They don't do that to everybody. They just do it when it's like you're doing that rhythmic fucking thing. You're doing the pro wrestler, and I'll tell you on Tuesday.
Well, it's like
on Friday.
Like when The Rock made fun of Triple H. "I'm the game, and I sound like this, and I spend my time with Stephanie in a hammock."
Yeah, so
remember the good old days. The good old days. Let me tell you something, Daddy. It was always that.
Dude,
every Southern
where is that
promotion.
If anybody comes back with that, Bottles, in today's environment, they're going to get super over because it's going to be the greatest thing.
Well, that's why LA Knight works. That's why LA Knight works, because he's sort of a throwback, to
the 90s. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What they need to get.
If someone came in, "Let me tell you something, Jack. When I press that stinky giant above my head, dude, and I'm talking about Bronson Reed because I'm Seth Rollins and this is 2027, brother." No.
If the Outrunners in
Outrunners.
AEW, Turbo Floyd, the other guy, if those guys ever went to WWE and they ratcheted that up, they ratcheted that 80s shit up. Every interview should have said, they should say, "Let me tell you something, Daddy."
It'd be over in a minute.
I would laugh my ass off with those guys. They're so entertaining, but not for the in-ring, just for everything they do.
Right. No, I get
periphery. That. Yes. I'm watching that yeet thing, the promo he was doing. Mrs. Bottles comes out of the bedroom. They go to the kitchen, cut through the living room to get a drink. I'm just fucking yeet shit, this goddamn yeet shit. And she walks through. She caught a yeet infection just walking through the living room. It was ridiculous.
Dude, so like
I'm
the
gonna-
crowd being,
ridiculous.
I'm going to give you a Raw pass this week. Do not watch Raw. Do not.
Well, so like you didn't
Who?
like the whole segment, like the
watched Raw.
promo, what he had to say, the crowd super behind him and shit. Like he's super over, you know. Like I get people don't you know, like Cena got the same flack, and it wasn't a catchphrase, but it was like, well, he's 3 moves and a body or whatever. And to me, it's like, I don't know. There's something to be said. Jay has that it factor that people want to yeet the top of the rafters to the front row in every building they go. It's sellout and everybody's eating. So there's something to that. You know what I mean? I get some people don't like it. It might be a little passe for some people, or not passe rather. I mean, maybe it's I mean,
Gimmicky.
not a shot to
It's
anybody,
gimmicky.
but people are passing. Like, I get why, like, maybe an older audience might not get it or something, you know, but it's just a matter of it's the crowd's so into it. How can you deny them of what they're like?
Are you
into,
saying
you know?
I'm
That's
part of
why.
the older audience? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Phil?
Hey, I'm
You
not
son of a bitch.
Juan says you got yourself over, Dodd. Yeet. Phil play Jericho. Wait, wrong show. LOL.
Oh, I'll just sing it for you. I look and see. It's not just me. No.
Good Lord Almighty. Jey Uso, I feel that they've spent this whole push on the wrong Uso. Jimmy Uso should have been the guy. Jimmy Uso, the interview. Jimmy Uso could talk better than his brother.
He
could do
you know what I
interviews
think
better
about
than his
Jimmy?
brother. What's that?
He's a much tougher of the two brothers. He seems like the tougher street guy to me, and how he does his interviews. That's just what I take from it.
Yes,
Right,
just
but
don't let
then-
him
but
drive
he-
you to the arena.
But
That's
here's
all.
the thing. This is why. It's because one guy is like a yeet guy now, and the other dude's still doing the street stuff. They're not interchangeable. You can't just like swap Jay with Jimmy, and then this whole thing would have worked. You know, I don't believe that. I think that
No, I agree with you. I agree.
yeah,
100%.
I think the positions they're both in, like next year, it'll be Jimmy's time. You know, he'll have a fucking huge run.
By the way,
Awful
Juan,
Wrestling.
thank you very much. And Awful is here. Awful, good to see you again, pal. Appreciated your video today. It was amazing.
Thanks for the $2, Awful. FYI, recording Awful Jeopardy this weekend. What is Awful Jeopardy? Explain that, Awful. Put it in
Yeah,
the chat.
hit
And
us
throw it
up.
back up on the screen.
Yeah, no one knows what that is, and thanks for the invite, asshole. No, shout out, awful.
He could be
No,
inviting
he's the
you.
best.
Yeah,
He's the best.
You guys are
There
like,
was-
what the hell?
You're shitting all over Awful, and he's probably inviting you to go to Awful Jeopardy. But
So here's my question.
where does the Jey Uso thing go? How long is this going to go on? Him being the champ. How long?
Well, it depends on how long he stays over, Bottles. He's over right now. Nobody's
See,
turning
this is
him
the
off.
difference.
He's
This is
moving the
difference
merch.
with the two companies. Don, this is the difference with the two companies.
Okay.
And Phil, I keep forgetting. I gotta say, Phil.
I keep forgetting not in love anymore. I keep forgetting things will never be the same again.
Phil, he breaks out in song from time to time, and
Yeah,
I'm
I do
good
the
with
same
that.
thing, bro.
It warms
It's,
the cockles of my heart.
it happens when you're ADD and a smart mark. You know what I mean? Wrestling themed Jeopardy show is what Awful
Yeah.
says. Trivia shit.
Nice.
Hit us up. Let me see. I might want to be
Yeah.
able to do that if I can get free. If
Well,
I
I, was,
can get free
I wasn't invited.
again.
I wasn't invited, so I'm.
I'm
think you're
pretty
invited,
sure
Phil.
he's inviting all three of us, pal.
It could very well be.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, no, I'll do it because I need Awful for a podcast series I'm actually working on that's coming out in seasons, 10-episode seasons, and I would love to have the SC Maniacs come do an episode as well with me of that show. I'll
Nice.
pitch it to you guys behind the scenes, but yeah, it's going to be very fun. So
Awesome.
yeah, stay on the lookout for that as well, chat. You know, it's coming. It's in pre-production right now.
Mhm.
Anyway, sorry, let's go ahead with Raw. I don't even think we finished Raw yet.
I
We're
just
going to
wanna-
finish it up now.
I'm going to throw this one point out that I was trying to bring up. Jey Uso is over, not because of his in-ring acumen or his stellar promos. He's over because of the entrance.
His
But then again,
promos
you
are
look at the
getting
other
better,
company.
Bottles.
You look at the other company. Who's over because of their entrance in the other company?
I
Who?
don't- Nobody.
Who? Tony Storm.
Nobody.
That's it. When the timeless banner comes up and everything, and the screen goes black and white, that's it. Daniel Garcia comes out, and you can hear frogs farting in the lake outside
Right.
the arena.
Maddie, I might get to there in a little bit, pal. Thank you for the $1.99. She's got
What are you going to comment next? Super chat next. Raspberry beret. What's next?
Paradise by the dashboard light.
Here it is. The other part that got my attention was Becky Lynch. I don't know where this promo's been, but kiss my ass. I'll give you $10 to do it again. Right. She is amazing on the microphone. Mm-hmm. She has been setting this whole thing on fire. Everything she said in here was this. Some of the quotes here, I had to pull it up. She said, I wanted you couldn't see yourself for me anymore. That was amazing. From now on, I am who you say I am. Becky Hogan, whatever. Feed into it, Becky. Feed into it. I thought this was $1 million moment. Everything about her, I buy. Again, this is going to be one of those moments, guys, where I feel like she's going to get so over as a heel. You're going to have no choice but to cheer her. She's going to be such a badass on a microphone. It's not going to matter. Heel, face, don't give a shit. Give me more Becky Lynch.
She got that girl Lyra Valkyria over more than she's ever been in her entire life. Oh, God,
yes.
Yeah. Lyra Valkyria, I won't say she's a superstar. Well, she's a WWE superstar, but she's poised. She's transcending. She's poised to jump into the next level. They go up against the likes of Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's looking good. Looking very good for the women's division now because you've got a shit stirrer back on the scene, on TV, in the dressing room. And the Hurt Business is over with their entrance.
Pablo, the real one.
That's right. Not because of the song, though. Call. Not because of the song, because they come out presented like they're badasses. Either in the whole suits, thing. Yes.
I would argue that because they're chanting, they hurt. We hurt people. The whole crowd's chanting it. You don't hear that shit anywhere else. You just don't in that company.
Right.
A good call, Pablo. God, I love the Hurt Business. Everything.
Even 5 random guys backstage. I don't know how they got in through the backstage area. We're chanting that a couple of weeks ago.
And shout out the only built for Cuban Links profile pic there.
Oh yeah, believe you me, we have talked about this in this chat before. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, that's the best rap album as an individual Wu-Tang ever put out. And I'm a huge Method Man fan, but only built for Cuban Links was the cherry on top of that group's entire single run. Sorry, he was the shit. It's time. I've put this off long enough. We're going to have to talk about AEW.
Let's do it.
4,409 tickets were distributed, which is a strong showing. Thank you again, Pablo. Strong showing for AEW. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. They haven't done this.
9,000?
I don't even give a shit. Yeah. It's something like that. But look, 4,400 tickets for them is a lot. Excuse me.
Good effort.
Considering a week ago they had 2,000 people in the building. That's a damn sight bad. You couldn't even distribute, let alone get in, distribute 2,000 tickets. So 4,400 tickets distributed. I tip my hat. Good for you. But then they led the show off like they have so many times. And I want to talk about this because this is the guy that's been running his mouth. He's been popping off. Ocean Spray comes out first.
Yes.
How many times have we seen CM Punk wrestle on non-PLEs this year? I'll tell you, it's been one time. Right. If Ocean Spray is supposed to be the draw, the best, the guy you want to pay to see in a live attendance, do not put him on free or cable TV, not free, but cable TV, and have him wrestle week after week after week, doing the same moves over and over. And by the way, this match, he did the same moves I've seen him do 100,000 times. His tag team partner was Hangman. I don't give a shit. They were fighting the Don Callis family. The same shit every week. Don't come at me with WWE does the same thing. I don't watch half of that shit. I don't watch it when it's a repeat match. I watch something else. I watch my dog lick its butthole. It's more entertaining than seeing the same moveset, the same matches every week. And this was the same shit.
What the hell's going on here?
Well, my dog's not licking his butthole right now. I can tell you that much.
What the hell's going on here? You open a show with Lick My Ass. Phil's talking about getting somebody's balls or getting tongued. Dog licking his butt. Honey, if YouTube calls, don't answer.
Okay. He fought Takeshita and the dude with the headgear, Jackson.
Jackson?
What's his name? I don't know this guy. I think it's Miss
Josh
Jackson.
Alexander. Josh Alexander from TNA, pal.
I'm calling him Miss Jackson.
Yeah. They wouldn't give him a good offer in TNA, so he went to AEW. And
Again,
Triple H
he's
probably
been
said,
on the show.
Who?
He's been on the show how many times, and he's eating pin after pin after pin.
He's getting paid very, very well to get pinned after pin after pin after pin. Josh
and by
Alexander.
The way, Takeshita walks to the ring wearing what I can only describe as a Cracker Jack belt. It was the cheapest looking piece of shit tinfoil hat I've ever seen in my entire life. Who designs these things? You can buy them all. It's just horrible.
Was it a mask or a belt?
The belt. He had a belt, a Cracker Jack looking belt. I'm pretty sure it was a Tinker toy I had when I was 12. This whole thing stuck. Everything about this, Paige and Ocean Spray almost hitting each other throughout the match, having their little blow-up moments, getting each other the same finisher at the end of the match. Nothing about this entertained me from the moment the bell rang, because I've seen this shit week after week. And by the way, Don Callis, guess what? He's on commentary again, saying the same tired tropey cliches. It happens all the time with these assholes. And this is why when they start this off, Ocean Spray doesn't feel like a star to me. He's just another fucking flippy guy. Do your backflips, handspring off the ropes, do your shit. And then they did the worst shit I've ever seen, where they each looked at each other like, we're going to do backflips. Okay. And I'll wait for you. Backflip time. Watch me do a spinny backflip.
You know,
horrid shit.
Do you know what the best thing you can say about Will Ospreay? He's very agile and he's got a lot of energy. Because I don't know anybody else who has that kind of cardio to do all those moves in repetition like that over and over again in the course of a wrestling match. The guy has got some great cardio. He can't speak hardly a lick of intelligible English, but he's got some great cardio. But like you said, Don, we've seen it all before. Why not make him a special thing that comes along, like for the pay-per-views? Maybe once a month you'll see him wrestle on Dynamite or Collision as a draw. They've got no draws except for the guy who was in the main event. That's why they sold those tickets, and that's why so many people watched that show this week, because they probably figured, this is it. This is the time. This is when Moxley's going to lose that belt. This is it. And it didn't happen.
And this show did draw 688,000, the highest they've done all year.
Right.
Yeah, it's because Joe's a proven commodity. He's a proven, like, okay, somebody did this big breakdown on Jon Moxley, and we broke it down on my show, and pretty much it just proved that month over month, Moxley was losing them like 100,000 viewers, right? Like over this reign.
Yeah.
And so with Joe, we know he'll keep the viewers steady. People are interested in him. He's real. His match, I like the cage match. I'm not trying to jump all over the place.
Oh, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, pal.
So I can save it for that. But yeah, Joe's a proven commodity. I can save it for that. When it comes to the tag match, I thought it was fun. I thought it went on a little too goddamn long. I agree with the Ospreay assessment. Like, I've been saying this since before.
Well, hold on. I don't want to cut you off, but I'm glad you said that. It went 25 minutes because Tony Khan does not understand that it doesn't have to be a marathon every time you have these guys have a match. And real quick, Pablo, Don, are you part of the Ring Boy trials? No, I am not. But please continue.
I might be. I met a few chat room guys when I was 13 on the Wrestling Observer mess. I was meeting up with them. They were all like 30.
I passed out in the front row. I passed out in the front row of the Baltimore Civic Center during a matinee Saturday afternoon WWF show back then. And I woke up and my foot was in Mel Phillips's mouth. That's all I can say.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Holy shit. I got the quarter hours for this debacle that was on TV last night. So we'll break it down, Don, as we
great observations, Don. AEW is putting people to sleep. Like Bottles just said, everybody's sleeping now.
Everybody's sleeping with my foot in Mel Phillips's mouth. Go ahead, Don.
So with Ospreay, before he even came to AEW, I was always criticizing him. Like, I'm a fan of him, but I was critical of him. Like, okay, that stuff works when you're like in Japan or doing an indie and it just goes viral and people see the clips of it. But week in and week out, you can't let every match, because there was a period there before he came into AEW where he was wrestling a bunch in TNA, and he wrestled Josh Alexander, he wrestled Mike Bailey, and it's the same match with him. It's like everyone kicks, and you know what all of his big matches are going to be. His super matches, as Dave Meltzer would say, right? You know what they're going to entail. It's going to be he hits 9 different finisher moves, and the guy kicks out of 9 of them, and then he beats him with the last one or whatever, right? Like 12 false finishes. Ospreay lets everyone kick out of his shit, so his shit is meaningless, and that's the thing. That's my biggest criticism of him. So yes, you can apply that to every single one of his matches. He doesn't get it. He just doesn't get that aspect of it. Hangman's cool sometimes, his stories haven't been the best. I think AEW's done a great disservice to him. He would have done way better in WWE with that machine behind him. But
let me ask something, because they brought this up in the match. So I'm glad you brought this up. By the way, Glenn, thank you very much. So that one point in the match, I don't remember which commentator was, but he said, well, that's Hangman's strong suit. He's the power guy. Are we out of our fucking minds here? You're going to tell me that the guy that's 5'9", 190 pounds is the power guy?
Yeah, well, that's
what
Tony
are we
Khan
doing here?
That's Tony Khan telling them to say that shit. And because he doesn't get it. Tony doesn't understand what a power guy is, because he's 94 pounds with 6 rocks in his pockets. So it just doesn't add up for him when he doesn't know how to book big guys. We see that all the time. Why? Because to him, a big guy is like 5'10". You know what I mean? And so shout out Short Kings out. I'm 6'4". I don't have that problem, but I'm just saying, shout out my Short Kings out there. But listen, here's the thing. Is that ending finisher was cool too, with the back elbow finisher. And the dual finisher. I liked it.
Why did it take that to take this guy out? That's what I don't get.
Right.
This guy's been getting pinned week after week, but it's going to take both of you assholes to put this guy out of his misery.
I fully agree. I fully agree with that, and that's because they don't know how to book anybody strong in AEW. Again, nobody's over. It's largely, a lot of it is just like people lose a shitload, and then they sneak one win and then like lose to the champ and stuff like that because they don't have good booking. I'm just saying, like, the aesthetic of the move and them doing it, because they're trying to establish
I agree.
They're trying to like establish at the show they're going to probably try and hit that move, and then maybe there's a fuck up or whatever. But again, Tony just at the pay-per-view or whatever, but Tony just rushes this shit. He just doesn't know how to do it correctly. Like, exactly, there should be a guy where Hangman hits the buckshot, it doesn't beat the guy. Ospreay hidden blades, then his partner doesn't finish him. They do the combo. They the next week, they should team together maybe a few times, whatever. I know they already did that story with Kenny and Hangman though, basically. So they're not trying to do that, but I just want to bring focus to this. Okay. Because matches is subjective, right? Dave Meltzer gives 5 stars to whatever the fuck he thinks is cool, but
he would give 5 stars to Kenny Omega cleaning a pickle.
That's what I mean, dude. If dude was like mowing his lawn, if Ospreay is mowing his lawn, he'd give it 6 stars if it was in Japan. You know what I mean? So the thing is here is that aside, right? The subjective match preference aside, I want to pick apart this. At the end, they had a great moment where Ospreay and Hangman are staring each other down, and their arms are lifted in each other's faces, and they're like, "What's up? What's up?" It's sort of like the Bar when they were kind of competitive with each other. Like, "No, what's up, dude? Yeah, we won this tag match. What? Like, it's because of me. No, it's because of me." But they're just staring each other down. They know they got a fight coming up. So I'm like, okay, there's a great moment right there. And then what do they do? Instead of like cutting to commercial break, the crowd was hot for it. That crowd was really hot for the whole show.
Yes,
and they were super hot for the end of this thing where Ospreay and Hangman are staring each other down and arms up in the air. And then what happens is the Callis family jumps them again.
Exactly.
And then it's like, what heat does, and then for what? So that
it does nothing.
So that Hangman can accidentally hit Ospreay, but we already know that's already happened. We've already seen that. We already know that they don't get along. We're going to do it again. But let's just like keep this thing that goes without saying that we don't need, and you have everyone's interest peaked and the crowd's white hot. So let's cool them off by having these goofs come in, do a goofy attack that they do every single week. It doesn't put more heat on the Callis family to like attack Hangman and then get fought off really quickly, and then Hangman and Ospreay have another have another like little disagreement or like miscommunication. We already know they don't like each other. We already know they have to fight. We already know they're being competitive. We already know they've had miscommunications. Why? Like, we're past this point. Tony doesn't understand story progression. He just thinks
he
like,
knows how to
if we
get
do
to the
this,
point.
yeah. He just
gets
knows
to the point
like,
that he likes in his brain, and then he freezes, and he doesn't have anybody there to say, "Here's how you take this home, Tony." You
Or
don't
just
have these
repeat it.
guys interact more. You cut to commercial with the stare down. You don't have this bullshit altercation happen after the fact, and they all start fighting again. Which, by the way, you said that he hit him. My man Ocean Spray was legit busted open the hard way on his nose at the end of that match. He got clocked. That nose was running.
Right.
And this is what I mean. It's just Tony. He always, and again, not to jump ahead, we'll get to this, but the title eliminator. Tony Storm's been in 2 of those back to back. Why book that? Where'd you get stuck where you're like, Tony Storm has to be in 2 fatal 4-way title eliminators?
Why?
All you gotta do, like, why don't just build up to 1 of those and just make it for the belt and have a 4-way at the fucking pay-per-view or whatever, or like on a big show on the go home show.
I'm going to pull a Dave Meltzer here.
He's like, we'll do a 4-way title. We'll do a 4-way title eliminator. And then it's like, we'll do another one next week.
Why?
By the way, Phil, when you were talking, I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. Phil. I was laughing at the visualization of Kenny Omega polishing a pickle, and I couldn't get it out of my mind.
Well,
By the way, this show started with 732,000 viewers. Thank you, Sheldon. And at the end of this match with the Top Flight promo, 689,000.
That was the bottom of the hour because this thing ran through the first quarter hour. So
yes,
that's what it was.
8 to 8:30. Right? Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Just trying to make sure.
689.
But no, I agree with you. He doesn't know when to just end the goddamn match. Go home. Here's your go home. Stare down. You've got a match next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. Go home. You're right, Phil.
And just leave well enough alone. Like, they had a great moment. They could have ended that segment with Hangman and Ospreay staring each other down, arms up. Oh, and who's going to come out on top? Blah, blah, blah. Excalibur nonsense. Jibbity Drew, and then you cut to a vignette of someone, and then you cut to the next shit. You know what I mean? Like, keep our interest
or you just
going.
Go to commercial.
Don't do a schmoz, especially when you have the main event plan. There was a schmoz after every match, so when you know the main event is just going to be schmoz city, just pretty much WrestleMania 40 of run-ins. Why would you book this early in the show with all this bullshit with the Callis family when it adds nothing to nobody, and you had a moment right there that the crowd was behind? And that's the point I really want to drive home. Tony Khan has stuff in the palm of his hand. Like, whether you like the wrestling or not is subjective, because with some of these stories and the moments, they have them right there, and then he muddies it up by and then 4 people will run out. And it's like, why? What are you doing? So again, fuck the match, but that right there is what really irked me about that tag match was the ending. I couldn't believe it.
The match was on my last nerve. The ending was the cherry on top.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Moxley and the Samoa Joe promo. And they used my word phrasing. Jon Moxley used my word phrasing. Bottles, did you notice this? He said beyond reproach. He said, that son of a bitch said beyond reproach. Do not tell me you sons of bitches aren't watching clips of this show. That's mine. Plumber boy, that's
beyond
mine.
Reproach. Yeah.
And then they said the dumbest shit of the night. They're gonna fight in a cage that's 10,000 pounds. I said, get the fuck out of here. You're gonna tell me the cage is 10,000 pounds? What are we? Come on, man.
It's just
Good
ridiculous,
God,
dude. He's just the worst.
10,000.
I'll be so glad when this guy never comes on my TV again. Never.
And by the way, this show, because I didn't watch last week, so I had a week reprieve from it. I noticed how bad the commentating was from the word
It's the
go.
worst ever. It's the worst
it is
ever.
So it's not getting better, and I feel bad for Taz because he's just sitting there he's like Zach Galifianakis between two ferns. He's just trying to make something out of this moment. Just give me something, guys, because you both suck. The mask goof, and now they've got this jackass sitting there. Who was it they had sitting there yesterday?
Ian
I can't remember who
Riccaboni.
that was.
Ian Riccaboni.
Dude, he's awful, man. I'm sorry.
He's better than Tony Schiavone, pal. He's better
Well,
than
I was going to
Shivani.
say, Tony has apparently been
But-
relegated to Saturday show.
The worst trio
Well, that's a
ever,
good
though.
thing.
Here's the problem. Like, they just, again, this is just falls on Tony Khan. You don't put Ian Riccaboni and Excalibur and Taz. That's not how you do it. You do Ian has to be like the Excalibur role. You understand what I
the
mean? Like,
lead
get
guy,
rid of
the lead.
Excalibur, put Ian with Taz, and then maybe someone else, right?
But
it's
he's out
not-
of place in this role, like you said. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, because they won't get rid of Excalibur for some fucking reason. They just love this guy because PWG, because he owned part of
That's
PWG.
exactly why.
Right.
Yeah, so they just
Friend of the Young
won't get
Bucks.
rid of him. And exactly. And so they would do so much better if it was just like Ian, Caprice Coleman, and Taz or something like that. They would just do where Taz is healing, or like Nigel, Ian, and
I actually
just
like
that, or
Nigel.
you know what I mean?
like Nigel behind the
Yeah.
desk. I
And
think that's
Ian's
his best role.
Ian's good. He's not my favorite ever, but you can't have Ian and Excalibur. It's like putting Michael Cole with Vic Joseph and Corey Graves or Wade Barrett. It's like, what? No, Vic Joseph or Michael Cole. You just pick one. You know what I mean?
Right. You can have two play-by-play guys side by side.
Next up, we had Alicia Atut. That's a
Atout.
real name. I about died. I'd
A
laugh my
tote,
ass
bud.
off.
Hey, I'll tell you what
I-
that's about. Her name's Alicia Tote. It's Canadian, booty.
Yes.
Well, they said Atut, and I laughed my ass off. Who's with Top Flight, who are screaming bloody murder, and I have no idea why. And Dustin Riddles and Sammy Guevara just stroll in. We're here. We're the Ring of Honor champions. I don't know what's happening in this entire segment, and I don't care, and I'm not going to try to figure it out.
Don, they're the Sons of Texas, don't you know? The Sons of Texas. And
Well,
Sammy
here's what we
Guevara,
got next.
notable Sammy Guevara,
On his way
appearing
out,
on-
apparently.
appearing on Dynamite. Now, you notice when someone's on their way out, Tony will offer them the moon for TV. I'll put you on TV. I'll do this. I'll do that. You'll be here. You'll be there. Now, you'll get a push. So that's what they're trying to do to Sammy Guevara. Give him a little push.
Yeah.
And they're going to push him eventually right out the door while he's tag teaming with Darby Allin's grandfather.
By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit notifications button.
Yes.
I think we hit some fast forward button there.
And
Anyway,
send in
we
a
got the next
super
match.
chat.
Ping Pong
And
versus Hopalong Cassidy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
No, I was just gonna say, and send in a super chat, and I'll do my Tony Khan impression for you guys if you
There
want.
you go. That's worth all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Ping Pong
Ping
wrestled
Pong
a middle-aged,
Hopalong Cassidy.
one-legged
Why
man.
is this happening?
And he ran from him.
Hopalong Cassidy.
He ran from him. Do you remember Zach
Why is
Gowen
this?
wrestling in
No.
the WWE?
Yeah, I do.
I was not watching then because I had bailed because of shit like this.
Laurinaitis was told to hire a one-legged wrestler. And he
Now
hired
that
the
I've heard
wrong
about.
one-legged
And
wrestler.
he hired the wrong one.
And Zach Gowen was the one they really wanted. So they got Zach Gowen, and he even wrestled Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that was
Zach
awesome.
Gowen did. Yeah.
Brock got so much heat on me. Same with Big Show, Vince, when they were fucking with Zach Gowen, and then Hulk Hogan, Mr. America. He had the mask on. He eventually thwarted them and stuff. That got kiboshed quick. But yeah, Zach Gowen, I was talking about it on my show when Brock Lesnar F5'd his one leg. You remember Brock Lesnar for a bit was doing the gimmick where he would go outside the ring and F5 your legs into the post, and you'd get like a leg injury, right? He did it to Rey Mysterio. He did it to Big Show. He did it to Kurt Angle. He did it to Zach Gowen. And I remember when he hit that on Gowen with his one leg, it was like, oh my God, you know, I just remember I however old I was at the time, like 12 or whatever. I don't even remember, but
All right, calm down. We get it.
Yeah.
You're young.
well, I'm just saying. And it was and it just had nuclear heat with me. I was just reminiscing about that the other day. You know, Zach Gowen did a good job in this match. It feels weird though. It feels like Montez Ford on Raw or on SmackDown rather during the TLC match that got 5 stars took that dude's fucking leg, right? And then hit the other guy with it. And then a week later, Tony Khan goes, oh yeah, 5 stars with a legless guy. I'll show you 5 stars with a legless guy. And so
That's
they
exactly
got
what it is.
Ricochet, go and get 5 stars with Zach Gowen with one leg. I swear that's
exactly
what this
what it
was,
was.
bro, because
Why? Here's my question.
how
about
does
this.
that happen? Are we living in the
Here's-
most fucked up simulation matrix ever?
Why
where we're just, like,
is
getting
this-
deja vus?
Why is this not a squash match? Why is Hopalong Cassidy kicking out of everything? Why in the hell did he hit him with the
Well-
leg? And Ricochet Ping Pong is the guy throwing the leg out of the ring. This shit was a joke from the word go, and it
Right,
turned
right.
into a joke in the end. Awful.
I think that's what Ricochet's going for. I think he just wants heat, and like he's the bad guy who's supposed to look like an asshole and can barely scrape by the fucking one-legged dude. I get it. This works in maybe not like a weekly television show setting. Like this is some shit you do. I don't know. This seems like something you do at like a spot show or some shit. Like back in the day, you know, this would be like on the untelevised event, or maybe it was on like the pay-per-view or something. Like the maybe you build up to it and you get real heat on it. They sort of just rushed it. There's always something there. I'm glad Zach Gowen got a payday. It is what it is. I mean, the spot where Ricochet went for the figure four, but the leg wasn't there. I mean, it popped me, but that's like, I don't know. That's like an old thing.
Have that in a dark match.
Yeah, that's happened 100 times too. Like where people have done that spot where they go for the figure four, but he's only got one leg. Like that's already happened before. So I mean, I don't know. End of the day, I'm just happy Zach Gowen got a payday, I guess. Yeah, this isn't gonna like steal the show, but does it put more heat on Ricochet? Do you guys think? Like in your opinions? No. I'm curious, like, does
no
this
one's going to remember this in a month? No one's going to remember this in a month, Phil.
So no one's going to remember that he. And here's my one problem, though, is that he grabbed the scissors, Ricochet did, and then he didn't just go and like stab him right away. He's supposed to be the crazy heel. He like debated, do I stab the legless guy? Well, you already stole his fucking leg, dude. You know, or in Minecraft, YouTube.
He didn't just debate; he master debated.
Yeah. So it's like I didn't like that. This wasn't my favorite match, but I mean Ricochet went out there and tried to steal the show, I guess, with, you know, it went a little long, but it didn't go like 30 minutes, but it went long enough to where I get it. But also Ricochet is just selling his ass off for this guy. I mean, he's the heel,
and
so
it should have,
he can get away with doing it.
This should have been a squash match. I'm sorry. This should have been over with in 5 minutes max. I don't understand why they can't figure out you don't have to have I'm not saying this was overly long by any means, but just don't give this guy kick out after kick out. Kick his ass, give him his paycheck, and move it on down the line.
He's a one-legged 50-year-old man out of shape. Come on now. And you know what? A lot of people, I can name 25,000 people that didn't like this match, because that's how many people turned their TVs off to another channel.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was one of them. I said, I got to see what's on the basketball game. I don't want to watch this shit.
Went down to 664,000.
Ooh, that's a drop.
That's
son.
good. That's good for them, though, the last year or two.
No, I agree. I agree.
No, but I'm just laughing at that. You know, it's so funny.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
The Cope is like, oh, they maintained, and this was a big boost for them. It's like 600 and some thousand. What happened year over year? This is not good, man. But they beat NXT for once. We'll get into that, I'm sure, in a bit. But
well, what's coming up right now, Don. I'll preface what you're about to say. This was the highest. This was the second.
Really?
Outside of the opening, this was the second highest rated segment of this show, even more so than the finale. Go ahead, Don.
Renee Baguette's with MJF. The echo is back in the interview room. I don't know why they can't fix this shit. Tony, fix your fucking audio, man. Get somebody back there that can stop this echo that comes through your microphones. It sounds like you're in a third grade play. It's awful. I expect more from a billionaire company. MVP comes out and says, join us in the ring after the match. Hurt people come out to fight Top Flight and kick the shit out of them as they should. This is how you get people over. Kick the shit out of them, be done with it. And then Dustin walks out and says, quit kicking their ass. You want to fight somebody? Fight me. I want to fight you right now.
Dustin
and then
who? Dustin and who? I know you've never seen him on TV in so long. You forgot his name.
I know. I haven't. But Sandy Guevara's with them. They challenge them to a match. And then the Pokemon crew come out. Leo Rush and some other guy that I don't give a shit to look him up.
Action Android.
Leo Rush is the size of my son, and he's 12. This is a joke.
Hey, Bobby. He was Bobby Lashley's manager for a time in WWE.
I don't give a shit.
Hey, Bobby. Trying to do a call back to that in WWE, and no one reacted to it.
Nobody. None of this worked because the guy he's a child. He's the smallest child.
None of these guys are over. None of them are over. That's the problem. None. You can say Dustin Rhodes maybe because of nostalgia.
This thing fell apart so hard and just wouldn't end to where eventually MVP, the only professional, it seems, within stone's throw of the goddamn camera, says, I'm getting told we're going to commercial, but we're going to come back real quick because we got to get MJF in the ring. The only guy in this entire segment that had a professional attitude and knew where this was supposed to go was MVP. And I expect more out of Mr. Runnels, but he just would not shut the hell up either.
No.
And then Leo Rush, he's going to get his 5 minutes on camera. You're going to hear what that little fucker's got to say. I'd like to hear him say, I'm leaving because I don't belong in the ring. I look ridiculous. Can you imagine this little guy in the ring against Bobby Lashley? The aesthetic alone is so absurd on the premise of it. Get the fuck out of here.
Him versus Shelton Benjamin is absurd.
Another absurd premise. I don't want to see anything about this. And then it gets dumb. Shelton Benjamin has to go to the back to get MJF, who's hiding behind Tony Khan, who's standing up like a child. He's right here. He's right here, Shelton.
Do it,
This
Phil.
whole-
You mean this guy? You mean this guy?
There
No.
it-
Yeah, I gave him more time. No, it's okay. I gave you. Can you, hey, MJF, while you're over there, can you pass my soda water? Right, guys? Because I'm like stooging where he is, but I'm also getting water at the same time. It's great.
This whole thing sucked donkey balls. He was the I'm telling you, as soon as he stood up, I was like, no, really? You're okay. I'm done. Anyway, look, they came back out there. They give him 3 thumbs up. Then they announced they're going to have the contract signing for him to officially join the Hurt Syndicate. There's a contract signing to join the Hurt Syndicate.
Ooh,
Come
exciting
on,
stuff.
man. Yes,
Exciting
Lock
stuff.
Larry. The magic windows.
The magic windows are out. Sherry, hit the switch.
Thank
That's his wife's name.
you for that callback. If you don't know, well, we'll fill you in real quick, Phil. This really is a room. It's not a green screen. This is my house.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a guy comment once that said, I find it fascinating that when Don does the show, it gets darker outside of his house every time.
At my
As
house,
it
the sun's
progresses.
still out.
Yeah, as it progresses.
Oh,
Yeah,
So
it's
Bottle
daylight.
says-
It's daylight where I'm at, like pure sunshine, and it's actually kind of cloudy, to be honest. But it's okay.
so Bottle says it's because I have magic windows.
The magic windows.
Anyway, this thing was, I love.
Oh, I
the
have
Hurt
magic
Syndicate.
mirrors. Do you know what those
I
are?
bet you do.
Oh, yes,
you do.
yes.
You ever been like late night in a hotel? Oh, never mind.
Short,
Time
a
cop.
very, very short straw. Yes.
No. Why did they make MJF look like a pussy and try to jump into the arms of Bobby Lashley and wrap his legs around him like a lover, only to get scorned and thrown down? Why are they making MJF look like a complete klutz?
And last week he just beat somebody up, beat the hell out of a guy, and said, "I hurt people."
yeah,
He had like a tank top on, went outside while the Hurt Business were in the ring, beat the hell out of 2 guys or 1 guy, and made because they told him you got to hurt people if you want to be in the Hurt Business.
yes. And
Basically.
now he's scared of Bobby Lashley trying to hug him with his legs. I don't know where this is going. It's so up and down. It really is a roller coaster. It's great one week and then utter garbage the next week. And this was one of those moments where I thought this did not deliver for me.
Danny in the chat, Don and Phil. I'm sorry, Phil. I keep forgetting. No, not forgetting you're here, but usually I just do a 2-man show. Anyway, Danny in the chat said it's a matter of time before Cedric Alexander comes in. But do you see Cedric Alexander actually coming into AEW?
I
Either way,
do.
if you
Yeah,
guys.
I do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, personally, I do. Why wouldn't he? You just go the key. This is what you do, right? You leave WWE, you go get those in, like your price is the highest. It's at its peak. Who's gonna get me first? My first few appearances. You go get like 5 really big bags, 6 really big bags. You know, you spend like 6 months, maybe do a few big shows and get those big paydays. Then you go get the
exactly.
big Tony Khan payday after that, and you get some things established like merch and stuff like that. I want to say this about MJF though. To me, he's like a fucking family.
Yeah, no, I want to
character.
hear what you said. I want to
he's
hear.
like-
I want to hear what you thought about this whole segment.
MJF's a cartoon character. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
every week, it's like the lesson from the last week didn't really matter. You know, he's like a Family Guy character. It's like every week he shows up and maybe he's babyface, maybe he's a goofy heel, maybe he's whatever, but he just You guys get what I mean by that? He's Peter Griffin.
There's
like
no
every week he's
consistency.
just doing he's just doing whatever fits him at the time, and his gimmicks sort of become that. One week he's jumping in arms like Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Then the week before he's beating down people in a wife beater looking like Snatch or whatever. And it's ridiculous. It's like where he just completely lost the plot along the way, and it's just like, dick joke, am I right, guys?
Exactly.
Hey guys, you're fat.
I like
and you're
those.
small. Hey guys, listen. Shit.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Hey, Google.
Let me throw a guy's hat or whatever. It's just like, okay, it's just like a middle schooler, what a middle school guy thinks is cool, and he's just become a cartoon character. In my opinion, there's no consistency, and whatever was learned before doesn't really carry over. But I will say this: his character is always trying to suck up to people and manipulate them to get ahead. He's always dependent on other people. Even when he was a babyface, his whole thing was like, "Well, I'm going to fight for Adam Cole," and the reason he healed on him eventually with the devil thing that went down the drain was because he's always dependent on other people and using other people to get ahead. So I'm okay with like this whole I'm joining the Hurt business, but I agree with like a contract signing to join the fucking Hurt. Get out of here. You guys just jump his ass, boot him out, get to the Lashley MJF match or whatever you're getting to. Like, fuck this. I don't know, but at least you have MJF. Obviously, he told Tony Khan after that stuff with Jeff Jarrett and shit, he's like, listen, I want to work with actual top guys who know what they're doing.
Which, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
How fast did they bury that shit?
Yeah,
That
I heard
got
MJF got
buried.
mad. I heard he got mad about like the reaction it was getting online and was like, I want a new story and shit. I'm not a dirt sheet or anything, folks, but I don't know. People tell me shit sometimes here and there. And yeah.
Hey, Google, define looking like Snatch.
Have you ever seen the movie Snatch?
Yes,
No,
I have.
not. I have
You've
not.
never seen the movie
I don't
Snatch?
get out much. I don't get out much. No.
So I just mean one of those like you're in a wife beater, and I think he may have even had suspenders. He looked like one of the brawling brutes or whatever, right? And he had his hands taped up, and he was beating someone up. That's all. I was
How much longer are those sausages Turkish? 30 seconds. No, was it 3 minutes? 2 minutes. 2 minutes Turkish.
This whole thing was 696,000 viewers, and they didn't lose that money, that many for the next 15 minutes. It only went.
I know where they lost them.
685. 685.
Tony Storm versus the Alphabet with Tits McGee and Sky Blue coming out with black hair, and I do not give a shit.
The Japanese stripper Mina Shirakawa.
Oh my god, that's ruthless.
You tell me how the fuck you get that name out of AZM.
It took me a second. I didn't even know what you were talking about. And I'm like, oh, AZM. Oh my god, dude.
Versus the Alphabet.
What is that? Or is JD? What is that? Like a fucking cocktail that you'd make or something? Oh.
This was what I thought it would be. By the way, Larry, we will be wary of a man with a big
for the $2.
You are exactly right, Larry. He gets it. He saw the movie. I don't have anything to think about this.
I gotta check that out.
It's lazy booking. It's lazy booking. They put another 4-way title eliminator.
Yes.
But here's the real story out of this. Mina gets the W. Who gives a shit? How about this? AZM wins this New Japan Strong belt from Monet, but doesn't pin Monet. She pins the other girl, Mina Shirakawa, in a triple threat.
Right.
And then AZM makes her big return to AEW. She automatically is in a 4-way title eliminator. And then who else? Sky Blue makes her big return after like a 10-month injury.
Wearing nothing blue.
She's automatically in a title eliminator. And then Mina Shirakawa makes her AEW return where she's officially signed. And she is just automatically in a title eliminator after Tony Storm already cleared her and Mariah May out.
Thank you, Larry.
Completely bullshit, lazy booking, trash. The people pick for this. Now, I do like some of these ladies. This match was sloppy shop ass. I got to be honest. Storm and Mina are fun. Sky Blue can be good. This was sloppy shop ass. Here's the real story from this. Mina Shirakawa comes out. She makes her entrance. Her music hits.
We call her Toots McGee.
It's different, okay? And Mina does her little dance. She does her little
I know where you're going with this.
Dance.
I know where you're going with this.
And so she hits the ring. The IWC blows up, and they go, yo, her fucking music is different. Change her music back. Even Brian Alvarez and shit is saying it, right? These smarks. And I'm allowed to say that because I'm Phil S. Marks, so I'm allowed to say that.
Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Tony Khan switched the music. He started tweeting back to sickos, to these marks, these smarks, and I'm allowed to use that word, Dave Meltzer, because it's Phil S. Marks. But anyways, he starts responding to smarks and going, yeah, I already switched the music back, like as the show's on the air. So like before the match is done, he already switched the music back to the old music, and then she wins the match and her old music plays, and it's like, what the fuck? And a lot of people are commending that, but again, it just shows like I agree with going with what the fans like, but you can't just go with what like 100 sickos on fucking Twitter say. That's been the problem. This is the
issue.
You have to stick to your guns, Phil. Make creative choices, and fucking and you have to be willing to like let people stand out for like. I get it, man. Some people's music isn't the best. Mina's music wasn't by any means bad. You have to be willing to go, no, this is what I think is better. Her doing this dance and this new rebirth of her in AEW. Instead, he's listening to the minority of smarks in the IWC.
People.
You know,
people on Twitter.
Sorry, that's my
and
bit
he
on
couldn't.
that.
He couldn't help himself because any negativity from his own fan base, the little group of IWC nerds, he couldn't handle it. He was like, oh God, and panicked. He hit the absolute panic button. It was like, I'm changing it right now. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and it was just a niche. It was like the niche, like AEW fans are
jerk reaction.
Yeah, AEW fans are already the niche of the niche wrestling fan audience. They're the niche of like a niche within that niche. He was catering the people who are like, we need the song back. That's like the niche within the niche of sickos, dude. You can't cater to that. That's way too crazy. And I wonder how Mina feels about that. I wonder if she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you just made that decision for me when I wanted. She worked
on this whole new dance. This is how I'm going to come in the ring. You've got me this new music. I'm going to show off my body because I am Tits McGee from Japan.
Yeah, and
I'm going to show what I got.
She had new gear too. She had a bit of a different look, you know, like she was trying to be a little bit different. And I wonder how
Cleveland was a little bit less stressed.
Yeah. So
how would you feel if you were Tits McGee and you signed this contract to work for this company because your best pal in the whole world is working for that company, and all of a sudden when you get hired, she says, I'm going to WWE.
Did we see a Mina Shirakawa is All Elite graphic yet? Like, did we see an
one? I have not seen one.
Okay, so that's the thing is that Mina also said she didn't say I'm going to AEW, my home and shit. She was like, I'm going to America. So she moved to the US. She might not actually be fully signed All Elite Mina Shirakawa. Like, she might not fully be under just an AEW deal. Now, what Tony will sign people with is like per appearance types. TNA will do this too, where it's like per appearance, but like you
Camarado.
you got to work for us though. Like, you can't go work for WWE obviously, but you can go work like New Japan shows. They're trying to expand to America and all this stuff. So yeah, it is interesting that we haven't seen an official like Mina is All Elite graphic yet, because when you see that graphic, like sometimes people get confused by that in the IWC where they're like, oh, I thought Big Bill has been in AEW forever. Why did it take 6 months to get an this guy's All Elite graphic? The reason is because he's not officially signed yet, like signed. And that's the thing. That's why a lot of the wrestling's so crazy, because you have like tiers there, and there's a bunch of guys who are getting paid like per appearance, and they're there every week and they're on the show. And so they're trying to win Tony Khan over so they earn the contract, because those are always 6-figure deals, and they're all working for like it. There's people who are there for 2 years, multiple years, who are trying to work and impress Tony to get that, oh, I'm actually signed All Elite graphic, I'm on a 6-figure deal, actually signed, guaranteed money. That's the way it works there, guys. So a lot of people go, oh, there's wrestlers who've worked in Ring of Honor who've complained. I don't know, I'm not going to name them all, but you guys know, who were locked in on like these per appearances, and they weren't really used, and then they're like, I got ghosted and I'm fucked now financially or whatever.
Sure.
Speaking of wrestlers, where's Darby Allin out on that mountain? I wonder where he's at.
He's on his way down. He's on the descension.
Did he make it? Did he do his?
I don't know if he made it yet, but he's on the way down. Last I saw of anything, he was doing his descension, which is like the most, it can be the most dangerous part of it, I guess. So
thank you, First Blood. Hit that like button, hit that notifications button, hit that subscription. We appreciate you all. Subscribe to Phil Marks Pro Wrestling Times. Appreciate all of you. Go ahead, Johnny.
Have you seen Mira Shirakawa and Kairi Sane and Matt Riddle practicing jujitsu.
I did see that. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So
Because
what
when
Phil
I
said-
think of jujitsu,
what-
I
what
want to
Phil-
roll around with the guy that got a porn star pregnant. I'm sure he's clean to touch.
Well, he's legit though. He is legit. That's a guy you want to go.
Herpes is forever.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But if
Hey, he
she's-
said
if
it, not
she's-
me, Riddle. We're cool, bro.
If she's hanging out in the U.S. with Kairi Sane, what's that portend for? Like you said, for AEW, is she paid per appearance right now? Has she not signed yet? It's very
Was that
interesting to see how
Mina?
that shakes out.
Was that,
That was
Mina
me.
hanging out with Kyrie?
Yes.
And Matt Riddle? Okay. Because I
Yes,
know
that was
Xia
her.
Lee. I know Xia Lee and Kyrie have been
Kairi
working
Sane,
out together
yes.
too. Kyrie's
Yes.
fucking shredded right now, bro. Her returns, she put on muscle, man. That return is going to be crazy. But what
Miles
is
is
that?
a big fan of hers. Big fan of hers.
What Kairi Sane?
I'm a huge
that
fan of
insane
Kyrie
elbow.
as well. Yeah,
The insane elbow, man. That is what a move that is.
it's just
Good
a
Lord
beautiful,
Almighty.
beautiful move. Yeah.
And
So
good looking girl. Good looking Japanese girl.
absolutely,
Very beautiful.
So Mina, though, here's the thing, man. They're all friends, and these Stardom gals are friends, and
Mhm.
you have Zelina Vega now. I know. Here's the problem, right? Everybody talks about CMLL and AEW's relationship. It's not as good as CMLL and MLW's relationship, and Stardom and AEW. No, man. Stardom's looking at WWE too. You guys know.
Right.
Everyone's got to understand that. All their wrestlers were at Mania. You haven't heard too much about the Stardom crossover. What you're hearing about in AEW anymore, what you're hearing about is these Stardom ladies are fucking leaving Stardom and just going to AEW. Like Thekla, they have to fully leave Stardom. Before it was like, oh, here's these big crossovers, right? And there it's Stardom and we love Stardom, but the relationship, it's not actually as strong. And these Stardom gals, they're trained to be superstars. They're trained in the strong style, but they're trained to be sports entertainers and really hone in their gimmicks and how they present themselves.
Well, here's the whole thing.
Cameras in the crowd. And I think they all want to be in WWE for the most part.
Well,
we know
I'm glad you
Mariah
said
May.
this. I'm
We
glad you
know
said
Mariah
this.
May definitely does want to.
Well, you
be
brought her
there.
up, so I got to ask this.
Yeah, and Mina, I think she would want to be there. I think she has some prior, yes, Tony, I'll come work for you type shit. They did put her in a number one contender slot. But with that being said, again, that could be maybe because she hasn't signed fully on. Tony's weary. Like maybe this is just a jobber to Tony Storm. I don't know. But Mina's friend, Mariah, right, has not
Is
been
gone.
fucking featured. Like she's not even featured in the intro video. Now, this could be an elaborate swerve. I know AEW is going to throw big money at her, but she wants to be in WWE. So does Mina want to be there? Yeah, I believe so. Now, I'll throw this out there too. I don't know if y'all caught this. Zelina Vega, I covered this on my show last night. Zelina Vega did an interview, and she said, I would love to defend my United States title. Guess the places she named. Guess the first place she named. In Stardom, AAA, TNA. I'd love to defend my U.S. title
Well, hold
everywhere.
on.
I'd love to
You're
go in
going
AAA
down-
with
You're
with
going down
Vac
that
Air
rabbit
stuff.
hole I want to talk about.
Right. But
The
why is she naming
WWE
Stardom? Why is
Hold
Zelina
on.
naming Stardom? That's
This is
crazy,
why.
bro. That's very
The
indicative.
WWE under Triple H is much more open to cross promoting
Right.
the program. It's not just for WWE. Let's make this very clear. He wants to see if these girls can work because he doesn't just want to send them all to NXT. He wants to get a good feel on what he's hiring. Can she work in the ring and can she cut a promo and can she or he sell tickets? Now
Right.
he's starting small, so we'll see where he goes. But this isn't just about a wrestler getting a quote unquote dream match. People like that have that mentality are watching AEW in rubber suits covered in Vaseline. That's the difference. This is a professional company that is looking long term. Can we help you build your company while at the same time building off of your top stars when it's time for them to ascend to the next level?
Well, and you have to look at how quick. So again, you have to look at how quick Stardom. The point I was making too is like, well, one of the points I was making as well was like, Stardom is quickly just like, fuck it, we're in with WWE. Like if Zelina's throwing that out there, that means there's been talks there. Now, also, what people got to understand, and this is facts. Now, you guys, if you're new to Phil Marks, you're new to Pro Wrestle Times, I implore you check me out. I was talking about Hot Lucha Summer and the AAA's deal, and WWE's looking to buy a Mexican promotion before any dirt sheet was. Okay, I promise you this. And CMLL and WWE was looking to buy CMLL. They would have just sniped CMLL away from AEW. CMLL would have did that in one heartbeat, but they just saw how hot Patron was, and so they went with AAA. So what I'm telling you guys is that these relationships that the sickos go, it's New Japan and CMLL and Stardom versus AAA and blah, blah, blah. No, it might not even be that, man. Stardom might go, we would rather just work with WWE. CMLL, if WWE wanted, they could have bought that shit. Okay, they looked at AAA. They looked at the IP AAA owns. The deal was better for them and AAA, and they saw the hot Alberto Del Rio heel run, which is an anomaly in Mexico. So they went in that direction. But they were looking at CMLL as well, and also Marigold, right? Okay, but they're rivaling Stardom. No, dude, Stardom might just link up. TNA is willing to link up. A lot of these companies, man, they see the benefit and, like you said, the long term, and it only helps these Japanese promotions in a time where Japanese wrestling sort of has been lackluster. Like a lot of the stars have been gutted out of there.
It's been robbed. That's what I was going to say. It's been robbed. Yeah. It's not lackluster. Tony Khan presented himself as being a I want to work with you moment, and then said, I think I'll pay you more money if you'll come work for me. Right. Like he's an asshole. Everybody wants to shit on Triple H and rip him, and he's the end of all that is becoming. Tony Khan is worse than him. At least Triple H is up front about being a businessman. Tony Khan is the guy that's patting you on the back while he's stabbing you with the other hand.
And when it comes to New Japan, we all got to remember this too. Nick Khan was going to, in order to keep Daniel Bryan, this is facts, he was going to allow Danielson to go work part-time in New Japan if he wanted to, right? And that was part of like where he was willing to just knock that door down and do that back then. That's when Vince was still there and shit. You understand? So this
I got shit on this lady's head. Hold on.
Yeah. So that's stuff that's been on the table.
Why
since
do I want to keep that little guy?
Now,
God damn it, I don't want him.
Yeah, get me one of those Joshi girls to apartment wrestle in my private plane in the back quarters. I have one of those spinny beds like Austin Powers, but it's actually a toilet.
That's where it's a whole new. That could have been another show on Tubi.
It fits 3.
The secret
or 2 with Brock Lesnar there. Yeah. So, but listen, here's the thing, man.
Have you seen the Instagram post by Mariah May?
Oh no!
Which one? Yeah, which one, bro? Yeah, I did. I saw a bunch of them.
No, I don't mean that one. I mean she's behind the chain link fence. She's behind a chain link fence. I'm going to see if I can put this up on the screen right now.
What is happening right now?
That's her Instagram post, and it says you can't read it. Finally, somebody let me out of my cage. So. What does that mean? Does that mean
it means she's free? She's out.
You really think so? She negotiated her release because she
can frolic in the woods.
I think September was the day, the month when she signed her contract a few years ago with AEW.
Well, we're going to see real quick. I want to close up AEW on this show as quickly as possible. Let's get through this. Taz talked about Sabu, and that was a tough moment. You could tell Taz had a lot of love at his heart for Sabu. They had gone to war together in the ring multiple times. Taz and Sabu, it's really weird because Saturday, I totally forgot this. I was watching ECW Saturday morning for some strange reason. I never watch ECW replays, but there I was Saturday morning watching it. So that was kind of crazy. MJF and MVP have a weird moment about the lawyer and the contracts. I said, that shit's getting ridiculous.
You missed a big chunk. You missed a chunk when Monet came out and beat up Hater. They threw Monet out there. They're taking everybody they got that's got some kind of value.
Oh, they threw it all out there, buddy.
Yes, they did. To see what sticks. Yeah.
Tony Storm and Nigel in the ring collision segment. Danny Garcia is back, which got no pop. No one gave a shit. No one cared. This was horrible. Stokely halfway comes out, and it just gets worse from there.
He was saved by Waterhead Daddy Magic. Came out with a crowbar to save Nigel McGuinness and no pop Daniel Garcia.
I have him
Danny
down
no pops.
I got Stokely halfway.
Stokely
and then we get the main event.
What a main event.
We get the main event. By the
draw of
way,
show.
thank you all for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate all of you. We are here with Phil Marks of Pro Wrestling Times. Great guest. We appreciate you coming on, Phil, because this match was everything that I thought it was going to be. You gave Moxley a chance to blade, and by God in heaven, he was going to blade. You knew it was coming. He was going to be a sheep, and he was going to be a sacrificed sheep.
He wore the crimson mask, Don. The crimson
couldn't
mask.
wait.
651,000, Don. 651,000.
And they said, I'm out. I don't need to see this shit. I'm out of here. My issue with this match, and I'm sorry, and I'm going to be the guy that says it. A rope break in a cage match should not stop the pinfall. I have seen this in the 80s. I've seen this shit in the 90s, and I've seen it go both ways since. This is what happens when wrestling companies change the rules or divert the rules in a way that fits their storyline. When he broke up the goddamn move over this, I said, nope, this is ridiculous. It's absurd. I don't need to see this shit anymore. And then it happened. We got the run-in after the run-in after run-in. Keep running. Everybody, their mother and a dog started running down the damn ring to get involved in this bullshit.
13 people.
13
people involved in this match.
I don't know what we're trying to do here, if it's to build the company or if it's to build the match. But whatever it was, I took away from this entire thing that I never want to fucking see Jon Moxley in the ring as long as I live. May I get crabs from a toilet seat before I have to watch this guy wrestle again.
How many people tuned in thinking this is going to be the week? He's going to lose that belt. Joe's going to win it. Joe's going to win that belt.
Do you really think they did? Because I didn't.
No, I don't think anybody really thought Mox was going to lose. Maybe some of the sickos, like if 688 tune in, then it's like, okay, you got back 20,000 of the sickos that stopped tuning in a year ago or whatever to maybe watch Joe because maybe they're not following it every week. If you're watching every week like myself, no, dude, he's losing it at their WrestleMania. It's going to be all in or double or nothing or whatever. It's going to be, someone's, or I don't think it's Oz. I think it's Darby Allin. I think he's going to come back from that mountain, and then Darby Allin's going to take it off Moxley. I think that's the ultimate end game with that whole thing. And so, because Darby's his guy, he's going to run with Darby. Like, that's the guy. It was either him or Orange Cassidy. They're going to get the world title. Who's going to get it off Mox? It's going to be some guy who does hardcore crazy shit and half mutilates himself to get it off Mox. That's going to be the guy who does it. That's Darby Allin. So
does he?
I swear, I feel like it's
little guys. Does he push little guys because he's little also?
Yeah,
you think that's what his impetus is?
Yeah, Tony. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't know. I just think maybe, he finds them more relatable. That could be it. He doesn't know how to push big guys. We covered it before. And I know it seems like it could be Bruv, but Bruv's there for so long. And I think that they're going to, I think that that's something they're just going to milk and wait till down the line. Like, Bruv's a guy who doesn't want the world title right now because we know Tony has a checklist, and we know Darby being world champ is one of those things for sure. And we know Okada.
He's a killer.
We know Omega versus Okada 7 or whatever the fuck is one of his plans.
That's one of his jerk off.
All these years later, he just wants to redo old shit.
Spread the tarp and get the Vaseline because it's game on.
And that's the problem. But I figured Mox is gonna lose it at All In or Double or Nothing. Like, that's.
Did you imagine the promo for that,
shows.
Phil? By the way, you've seen them wrestle dolls. Now you're going to see them in America in a G-string on a pole match.
Well, the problem
with this is going.
G-string on a pole. The problem with Omega Okada is that it happened. They had like a series of really great matches, and then it's done now. Leave it be. Like, why rehash it? There's no point. Just because Tony Khan loves recreating. I've pointed out ad nauseum on my fucking show a babillion instances of them just redoing old shit. Old all Japan shit, old WWF shit on Dynamite or on their shows, and it's just terrible. Tony's just not creative, and it's just shitty that he's like, we have to get to this. And what it is like, Kenny's the international champion. Okada's the Continental Champion. They're going to merge them into the Intercontinental title. That's also
which
Tony.
is going to be hilarious, right?
He's not even
that's the
creative
funniest
enough to
thing.
be. He's
I
not even.
know.
He's not even creative enough to call it the All Continental title or something like unique to All Elite Wrestling to like flip it and make it their own.
I've
thing.
got an
Hey,
idea.
The AC title. He's not even genius. He's not even smart enough to do that. He's just gonna. This was his grand scheme to get to an IC title.
I've got an idea.
It's ridiculous.
Phil.
Yeah.
Just bring out something simple that the WWE, because of whatever reason, doesn't have the goddamn common sense to do, and call it a television title.
Yeah.
That
Well,
way
that's
you
the
have
TNT.
you have a
Well, hold
champion.
on. Oh, the TNT.
No, you're not doing that to me. You're not doing that to me. Because that shit was on Wednesdays.
That's what the TNT title. Daniel Garcia, our longest reigning TV champion. As a matter of fact, it's great. No, but here's
if
the
that
thing,
bitch
man.
got hit by a car, no one would recognize him. Be like, oh God, who killed this guy?
He has like negative aura, as the kids would say.
He
But
does,
here's
dude.
the thing, man.
When he walks in, his aura is a succubus of black.
Oh my God.
I
The whole
thought-
place gets quiet.
I thought this cage match was fucking pretty solid. The rope break was ridiculous, man. It's so stupid. Moxley wrestles better. Like when he was Dean Ambrose and he had something to prove, he wrestled great. When he first came in AEW and he had something to prove, he was awesome. When he gets complacent and he's just super rich and it's just like he doesn't give a shit anymore. Now he's in there with Joe, so he's actually trying. It was a better match. You knew Moxley, he hasn't bled in a long time. So you knew he was going to do it. Well, a long time for Moxley is like what, 4 months or 3 months or however long it's been. But you knew he was going to do it in this cage match. He was going to bleed. He was bleeding.
Oh, he's been
good.
itching like a crackhead on a corner. He's like, I got a fucking blade,
Yeah.
man. Somebody let me blade. Give me a cage so I got a reason.
Joe was awesome in the match. I thought the match.
Joe's
again,
always awesome, though.
Yeah,
Joe's
I mean,
always awesome.
Yes, he
the
is.
rope break bullshit aside, the match ends more or less, or you get to where, like, I like the concept of, okay, they're in a cage. Why? Because these assholes try to run in all the time, and we can't have that. So the assholes try to run in, the other guys come out and run them off, and then we get the debut of fucking Gabe Kidd, who throws like
I
a
forgot about the new
briefcase.
Cracker Clan member.
Yeah, so Gabe Kidd shows up and he throws like the title that's in the briefcase to Moxley, and he joins the Bumbleclot Whitepool Neo Moxley clan. And my whole and he's fully
Cracker Clan.
skin-headed. He's fully shaved his head, skin-headed, right? Like a fresh bald shave. And it's
Now,
like,
hold on.
goddamn-
Before you go on.
Yeah.
Isn't this the same guy that a couple of months ago cut a viral promo saying he'd never joined the Bucks?
Never
Well,
joined
this is-
AEW.
Well, that's what I was getting to, right? So, like, this is the company that, okay, so Gabe Kidd shows up, and people want to be like, bruv, and it's like, okay, Tony's just poaching more of this talent. We've seen Gabe Kidd in MLP as well. So, for those of you unaware, Maple Leaf Pro and AEW have this same relationship TNA and WWE do. They just don't. It's just not public, and no sickos cry about it because they don't keep the same energy. But Maple Leaf Pro is like the TNA to, that's a
Right.
fact, 100%. Okay, so basically Tony gets dibs on, like, let's say something hot blows up there, he gets dibs on it, that sort of thing, right? So
Right.
and that was actually in place before the TNA WWE deal. No sickos cry about it because they don't never have the same energy. They don't even know about it because they're too dumb. They don't actually really care about AEW. They're not fans of it like I am. They don't keep their finger on the pulse the way I do. But anyways, fucking, so Gabe Kidd showed up in MLP. Okay, I went, look, he's going to be in AEW again. Watch, this could be his exodus from New Japan. Boom, he shows up. Now, my whole thing is this: AEW is the show where the real wrestling fans watch real wrestling and watch all the wrestlings outside of all the wrestlings, right? They have to know about every wrestler outside of the promotion. And if you only watch WWE and you don't know about every random lucha and every guy that shows up in AEW, you're not a real wrestling fan. Well, guess what, bitch? I do watch all this shit. And I guess I am a quote unquote real wrestling fan, you sickos. And here's what just happened. Gabe Kidd at Resurgence, like a fucking week ago with the War Dogs, got into a scenario where the Bucks went to sweet him and try and do the Bullet Club shit like they've done 4 million times over the years. This is like a week ago. And the War Dogs went, nah, fuck the Bucks. And they sweeted each other and walked off and are like, we're not down with you Bullet Club guys. Then over in AEW, the Bucks are aligning with Moxley and them. And then Gabe Kidd shows up to align with the people that the fucking
He
Bucks
just
are
told
aligning
eat
with.
shit.
And it's just
Right.
like, bro, I watch, like, okay, so all you sickos who are like, you got to watch all the wrestling. I do, and this shit doesn't make sense. Clearly, Tony's not watching all the wrestling. As Dave Meltzer would say, if you study it and learn. Well, I'm studying it and learning, and this shit doesn't make sense. And also, Gabe fucking Kidd, okay, people were trying to say to me, well, Moxley and them are destroying AEW from the inside out. Yeah, Gabe Kidd's character doesn't care about AEW people fucking up AEW people and ruining AEW. He would sit back and laugh at that maniacally. His whole thing is, I'm New Japan, bruv. Randy Orton, come fight me over here, bruv. That's Gabe Kidd shit. Like, I'll fucking fight you in New Japan. Kenny, you're a bitch. Come fight me over here. Like, Randy Orton, he's tagged Randy Orton. You're a bitch, bruv. Come see me. It's never like, he doesn't give a fuck about joining Moxley's crusade to destroy AEW. Moxley and Yuta and them are AEW goofballs too. Why would he care about that? None of this makes sense for anybody's characters if you follow this outside AEW.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I can't.
Exactly.
And you just went down a rabbit hole. Because here's the thing. I only have so many hours in my week I can devote to wrestling. Friday Night SmackDown, until they get back down to 2 hours and I can fast forward the good parts, I have cut that out of my life completely. This guy, the only reason I know about this guy is because of Twitter. His entire aura was that of succubus. Nothing. I don't like this guy's entire entrance. He comes into the ring, throws in a briefcase, and the crowd, by the way, for all of you AEW neckbeards that swear you watch everything, they acted like they didn't have a fucking clue who this guy was.
That's
there was no pop.
Of course not.
That's what I mean. And then really think about, there's 42 rundowns. The cage gets lifted up, 9 rundowns. Samoa Joe gets his ass the fuck out of there because he's the most legit guy on that roster. And he's like, fuck this. If I'm him, dude, I'm Jack Perry and everyone backstage. Like, what the fuck is this booked around my match where I actually popped you a fucking rating and drew you a 4,000 fucking house? Moxley goes to Cincinnati as the heel world champion. Dude, and Moxley goes to Cincinnati, his hometown, as the heel world champion, draws 1,200 people. That's a shoot. Look that up. Joe
I know.
Joe comes back, draws 4,400 fucking people, and then they schmoz it up where, the Bucks got to come out. Let the Bucks come out. And this is how dumb these motherfuckers are, too. And I got to go off on this, because Swerve climbs up the cage, and then everybody just walks up to the corner he's going to jump off of. He fucking stomps 12 people. That's dumb as fuck. Why would you all just walk up to him? There's no one to fight. The Bumbleclaw Club cleared the ring out, and then they fucking just all walk together, hand in hand, to the corner. Swerve's going to jump on them all like a bunch of redacts. And then also all the people fucking come out, right? And then this is during the overrun. So you got to imagine, what's Tony Khan's mentality here? Oh yeah, people will flip the channel and see a bunch of guys in a ring going, hey, anarchy in the arena. Like, they don't know. How is that compelling? How is that like, how is that going to draw new fans? Why would that be in your overrun? Just end the show at the normal time and say that at the normal time. It doesn't even make sense.
This is the thing, bud. He really believes that everyone that tunes into his show is inside his wrestling bubble of AEW, and they're going to know exactly what he's talking about. I get it. You're inside the wrestling bubble, Phil. You are the guy that watches all of it. Most fans don't. Fucking Tony Khan is the guy that thinks everything they say on his show, an average fan flipping over is going to know immediately. Anarchy in the arena. No one, and I can't emphasize this a fuck enough, no one knows what that is outside of a die-hard AEW fan, unless you've watched this shit from day one and you remember how god-awful that shit was. And not only was it bad, he decided from a Booker stance, this wasn't just bad, I'm going to run this dumb shit back because I don't have any other creative ideas. I wasn't smart enough to hire a booker. I wasn't smart enough to get somebody that's been in the business for 20 years to help me out of these positions. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's a billionaire's toy. It's not a real wrestling promotion. And that's why you get these type of endings. It's a man-child with $1 billion of his daddy's money running this shit show excuse of a wrestling corporation.
Yeah. And Anarchy in the Arena is just Stadium Stampede, by the way. Same shit. They just play music during one. That's the only difference.
I hope we get the worst song in the fucking world that Bryan Danielson.
It'll be, I'm so excited, and I just
will.
can't hide it. It'll be Pointer Sisters.
Did you
Dude,
notice the song that opened the show?
Well, it's Sum 41, and they've
Yes,
used it
Sum
the past
41,
2 weeks, and they keep fucking changing. A good Canadian band there, buddy, eh?
Yeah.
So they keep changing it, though, and that's another part of their identity crisis. Like, stick to one fucking song, man. A much better song than Pointer Sisters, though. But I will say this, too, again, and I have to reiterate this. Just so Tony, he really thinks that in the fucking overrun, people flip to the channel, they see the Bucks and Swerve standing there and a bloody
They'll
guy.
know who that is.
And then the guy goes, anarchy in the arena, and that's gonna sell tickets or draw like people. It's fucking bananas. There's no formatting to this show. It's completely bullshit, and they ruined Gabe Kidd right there, and he's just a body for the anarchy shit. That's all it is.
That's all it
He'll
is,
be
yes.
gone a week later. So it's pointless and it's dumb, and they fucking again ruined it. If they just ended it with a cage match and then Gabe Kidd debuts, then it's end. Because again, you debut Gabe Kidd and then you have 14 other guys come out. So you just shit all over him because they don't actually care. Tony doesn't actually care about Gabe Kidd.
It could have been anybody. They could have brought Colt Cabana out to do that and saved money.
And same result. Nobody knew who he was. They probably
knows.
recognized who Cade Cabana is.
Oh, they recognize him now from his appearance on Family Guy. But
oh dear God, let's not go through this. Let's not go through this. My God in heaven. The AEW marks losers. We were on Family Guy. Bret Hart was on The Simpsons. John Cena was on The Simpsons. That's an actual role. Right. Some goof putting on a mask is not a role. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Yeah, I broke down how that whole thing. I broke down how that works over on my show. For those who listen, you know, I've been a writer. I've been around the block. You know what I mean? I've written a few things in my day, and as a shoot work brother, you know, I'm a film editor and stuff like that. Spent a lot of years doing things of that nature. So I kind of broke down how that worked on my show with the whole crossover, like how that works. It's not like, whatever. I don't even have to. They didn't go AEW Excalibur's here. I know. They didn't. They're never going to say that.
Excalibur's in the building. What's he doing here?
They just need inspiration,
and then
right?
Comes up with the fucking chair.
Yeah, the animators go, oh, we need lucha mask. What's the inspiration for it? Someone, Colt got that pitch through. Good for him. We should applaud them. But yeah, Sicko's running.
No, I
victory
applaud.
Over that. I didn't even really see Sick. Were Sickos getting like running victory laps over that? I didn't.
Oh my God! You'd have thought that they just got laid. They were the happiest people on earth. I'm telling you, the Lubriderm was in full stilt. They were
all oiled up and shit.
Dude, no, they were Lubriderm to the tilt. They couldn't wait. They were ice skating on what they created. What are you doing over there, Bottles?
I'm ordering towels on Amazon.
All right. Well, I'm glad you were. I want to thank everybody for watching us tonight. Jesus. I want to thank everybody for watching us tonight. I want to thank Phil Marks for coming out here. That was a good show, man. We appreciate it. That was 2 hours. It's one of the longer shows we've done. I want to thank everybody who tuned in. Please like and subscribe. Phil, go ahead and plug your shit, man. You got Pro Wrestling Times. Do it, pal.
Yeah, guys. So you can follow me at on everywhere on social media at Pro Wrestle Times. You guys can see it on the screen if you're watching there. It's at Pro Wrestle Times. And I'm on YouTube. I do a weekly live show. I go live Mondays to watch Raw. I go live Wednesdays to watch Dynamite. And then Saturdays, I just go on to either watch Collision or PLE. Sometimes I'm watching UFC, whatever. So I'm live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at youtube.com/at Pro Wrestle Clips. Okay. And if you like news and comedy and jokes and impressions and shit, that's more of what I do. I have really cool people pop in. I mean, I've interviewed really cool people like Big Trouble, Ben Bishop, Matt Morgan, Killer Kelly.
I do like me some Ben Bishop. Yeah, I do like me some Ben Bishop, dude. That's a good guy, man.
And you can find cool people in the chat. Jose, the assistant, pops in and talks shit to everybody. Mrs. Cornette's up in there typically, when I make fun of Dave Meltzer and that. So I'm the flute guy. If you've ever seen flutes thrown up at Dave Meltzer, that's me. So come check me out at youtube.com/at Pro Wrestle Times and youtube.com/at Pro Wrestle Clips. I got 2 channels. Man, thank you guys for having me on. I had a blast when you guys come on my show. And I had a blast tonight. This 2 hours flew by, and hopefully we can do this again soon. We don't want to hot shot book it, but I got to get you guys on the live of mine. You know what I mean? One of these weekends.
Yeah, brother.
one of these Saturdays or Wednesdays where you guys are good in the near future, you guys got to come on and invade and do like because we did a regular podcast where we sort of previewed Backlash, but I want you guys to come roast the sickos, roast Meltzer, roast the news with me and all of that stuff. So yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate you.
We got to talk to Awful about this Jeopardy thing, man. That
Yeah.
sounds like a good time.
I didn't get a goddamn invite, man. I'm going to DM this asshole right now. Where's my... No.
Do you want to know? I know a guy that loved this show tonight, by the way.
Who was that?
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.